Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. Sport all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports all plays.
Everybody, it is good to be back. Obviously, Frankie is at work, so he will be on tonight, and then Logan is out of town on business, so he won't be on tonight. So it's me and Gonzo taking over this show tonight. Gonzo.
And not a whole lot, man. I'm sitting here watching the Reds and the Brewers, and like you said, there's a lot of good games on tonight, and so everything's about ready to start up. Looking for a good night of sports.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And, there's a lot of things to talk about. There's a lot of really, in my opinion, kind of interesting things going on right now. So I'll kind of start it off. Number one, as you know, kicker Josh Lambo sues the Jacksonville Jaguars over the hostile work environment that was created by former coach Urban Meyer. And I tell you, man, it's crazy. I mean, I kind of thought maybe something like this might come down the pipe. Do you think any other players, will be joining this, Gonzo, or do you think it's just going to be a one-man show filing this lawsuit?
I think there might be some other players join. It wouldn't surprise me if there was. I feel bad for the Jaguars because they still can't get away from Urban Meyer even after they get rid of him. So, but that was just a mess from the time he got there when he hired that strength coach that a lot of guys had questions about. And I mean, from day one, it just seemed like he was having trouble figuring out how to do it in the pros. So it wouldn't surprise me if maybe more players come out and complain.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
hope they do. If this is serious, I kind of hope they do, because I think it'll give the guy that came out first a better chance of winning than if he's by himself.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And in all honesty, Urban Meyer has created quite the hostile environment. Even with this kicker, I mean, he was giving him a hard time calling him names. I think at one time, he hit him in the arm or something. So, I mean, the guy's got a very legitimate case against Urban. And I wonder how, this is going to play out in Urban's career as he goes forward, having to deal with this lawsuit, or at least being associated with this lawsuit. I mean, not that his career already hasn't been hurt, right?
Yeah, it's been hurt, but I still think a college would take a chance on him and hire him back because of his track record.
Yeah, and let's be honest, there's a lot of colleges out there that still need good coaching, and I wouldn't be surprised. You're right. I wouldn't be surprised if he does, because he has had, honestly, a very great career in college coaching, with Ohio and Florida and whatnot. So it's not like he doesn't have a great resume to still lean on, at that point. So I agree. I think somebody will give him a chance at some level. Then we kind of move on to, Tom Brady gets a 10-year, $375 million contract. That's $37.5 million a year. And then he also has his $332 million from the NFL. So obviously Tom is just rolling in the money. Do you find it weird that he's going to be making more money than Stephen A?
I really don't, because I think the players should be making more money than the guys that are just on TV talking about it. But Brady being the age that he's at, it is crazy that he's still making that kind of money. That just shows you the greatness of Tom Brady.
And let me ask you this. If you're, let's say, Tony Romo, who's been doing broadcasting now for well over 10 years, or you're, Drew Brees, you've probably been broadcasting now for about a year or so, at that level, are you kind of like, do you feel slighted that he's making more money than even you guys are, and you actually have now a little bit more television experience? I mean, let's be honest. Tom Brady's getting the money because of his professional performance on the field, not necessarily his professional performance in the booth. I mean, those are two different animals. I mean, if you're Tony Romo and you've been doing this now for well over 10 years, are you feeling a certain kind of way?
He might. I wouldn't be surprised if he is, but he also has to look at it as who has the bigger name. If you say Tom Brady, there's a lot more people that know who Tom Brady is than they know who Tony Romo is. And that's not a slight against Tony Romo.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Just showing you the greatness of Tom Brady is that, I mean, he's just one of them names that even football fans they know who Tom Brady is. Or not, I mean, non-football fans even know who Tom Brady is. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
More people that don't follow football know who Tom Brady is than what they would Romo is. So that's what they're paying for. But I would understand if these guys are slighted, because I'd be like, hey, I've been doing this for 10 years. This is his first year, and he's making this much more than me already. But what do you do about it? I mean,
there's not really much they can do about it.
You get paid good to do what you're doing. So, I mean, yeah, if you complain about it, it's really not going to help you.
And then, you know, I tell you what, if I'm Tom Brady, if I'm Giselle, I'm just thinking like, man, this dude is just a money-making machine.
Yeah, and she makes more money than he does. So just, I mean, think about that. How much money they have.
Man, hey, I just got the call from Mr. Dustin Reese. He be joining the show too. I'm trying to text Dustin, and I'm hitting Gonzo on by accident. So whenever I send you Gonzo, it's really supposed to go to Dustin. So just disconnect all that craziness. It's a crazy thing. And then I don't know, man. Hey, like I said, I kind of like. I was want to nickname Tom Brady the Midas Man at this point, because everything that guy touches just goes to gold. Hey, what's up, my boy? Big Phil's on the show tonight. Hey, it was good to see you in the comments, Big Phil. But yeah, man. I mean, listen, everything he touches just turns to gold. I mean, he literally is a marketing machine. I mean, literally. I don't know who has it better, who in terms of marketing their brand name, him or Peyton Manning, given all the commercials and things that they associate Peyton Manning with.
Yeah, and Brady's going to be the next quarterback that's going to be like Manning, where you almost see as much about Manning now as you did when he played. Even though he retired, you can't watch a football game without seeing a Peyton Manning commercial. So, you know what I mean? So he's done a good job keeping his name out there. And I think Brady's going to be the next football player that's up there at that same level as Manning after they retire, as their marketability.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And, you know, kind of turning our attention away a little bit, you know, the other thing I was thinking about was, you know, and I know you saw this, Sonny Michel just signed a 1-year, $2.1 million contract with the Dolphins to basically be in a crowded backfield that is joined the likes of Raheem Mostert, Chase Edmonds, Myles Gaskin, Salvin Ahmed, who just also signed as well. I mean, what's up with that? I mean, what is he going to get out of that? I mean, there's so many running backs. I mean, does he even run the risk of getting cut if he can't outperform the other guys?
Yeah, I think he could run the risk of getting cut, but he must not have been getting no offers from anybody. And the running back position has been so devalued in the NFL, so the guys aren't getting the kind of money they want, because the average span for a running back to play is not very long in the NFL. So, but yeah, I'm kind of surprised that he wasn't getting an offer from any other teams that was better than going to Miami and taking a risk and maybe not even making the team.
Yeah, and that's what I was wondering. I mean, did he, in fact, was he not going to get re-signed with them? I mean, what's going on?
Yeah, they must not going to be re-signed him, or he felt like they wasn't going to, because for him to take that kind of a deal doesn't make a whole lot of sense if he was going to be able to re-sign. Well, yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking, man. I mean, to me, it just sounds a lot like what the hell? Because if I'm Michelle, I'm already looking at a crowded backfield, and I know for a fact, okay, there's no way these guys are playing me.
because they have, number one, they have too many running backs who are legitimate running backs. I mean, Edmonds, for what he did for the Cardinals is amazing. And then you take a look at, Mostert and what he did for the 49ers, even though Mostert's kind of been in a slump, a little bit, but with those injuries and whatnot, but he's still a good running back. How is Michelle going to compete with that?
Yeah, big thing with Mostert is staying healthy. But Edmonds has had good years, and Michelle is just crazy how far he's fallen so quick. Because I mean, you think about Michelle, you think about all the success he had in New England. He left there and didn't do bad other places. So it's crazy to me that he couldn't get a better deal to end up in a spot where he's going to compete. Where I think there's a slim chance that he gets much playing time.
Absolutely. And then here's the deal too. I mean, I guess maybe, and it has been said before. I think Rob Scott, I think is the one that said it. I believe either he said it or Frankie said it earlier, that possibly the reason why he signed that deal was he realizes that, he's already got 2 rings, one with New England, one with the Rams. And maybe he feels like he's at the end of his career and he just wants to, take a reserve spot and play some spot minutes. Maybe that's what he's looking at in terms of the longevity of his health. And I can even see that point being valid.
Yeah, that could be it. I mean, it's crazy to me. I would have thought that there would have been more offers out there for him to take than a 1-year deal with Miami.
Oh no, I get it, and that's kind of what I was thinking too. Like maybe he really didn't play the market long enough to really see what's out there. And at the end of the day, though, Big Phil said it, man. What could I, as a pedestrian person, what could I do with even $1 million? I don't know, man. I see somebody say $2 million, and I'm just like, man, that's like life changing. For me, that would be like life changing money.
And maybe he's at the point,
maybe in this lifestyle it wouldn't be, but
maybe he's at the point where he's cool with being a backup, and he just wanted to be in Miami and be able to live that lifestyle in Miami for a little while.
What's interesting to me though is because again, I guess kind of to counteract what Rob and them were saying about him, maybe being done with, in terms of our predicting stuff. They came out. Him and Nick Chubb came out the same year. If I'm right, am I right? Did they not come out the same year?
I think so. I'd have to look it up.
Pride, hey, what's up, Pride? Good to see you, my brother.
How are you fine, exquisite gentlemen doing today?
Man, hey, I think I'm doing pretty good. I look at my boy Gonzo, and I think he's just doing fantastic over there. So, he's been doing all this wrestling over the weekend, so I think he's all wrestled up. Plus Monday Night Raw. I mean, how much better does it get?
You guys are cool guys. I wish I could be like you guys when I grow up.
Let me ask you guys, Pride. Let me ask you a question. Sonny Michel came out the same time, I believe, as Nick Chubb. I know they were running backs together there at Georgia. Didn't they come out the same draft?
I want to say yeah. I want to say yes. If anything, I think Sonny Michel might be a year or two after.
Right. I mean, they're very close together in age, or at least in terms of time in the NFL. What do you think? What do you think was going through the mind of Michel when he signed on with the Dolphins, given that they already have Raheem Mostert, Chase Edmonds, Myles Gaskin, Salvin Ahmed? Why do you think he chose to sign on? And of course, it took a little bit of money. What, 2.1 for a year? Why would you go into a crowded backfield, less money? Rob Scott, his analogy was that he's basically going into salvation of his health and maybe just taking the spot minutes, and he's okay with that, given the fact that he has 2 rings. I mean, what do you think? What's going on with Sonny?
Hey,
hey, Pride, you still there?
Hey, Jay.
Yeah.
Sonny Michel was taken in the first round of 2018. Nick Chubb was taken in the second round of 2018. So they did come out the same year, and Michel actually got drafted ahead of Chubb.
And Sonny Michel got drafted ahead of Chubb, correct?
Yes. Michel was in the first round and second round.
Okay, now given Michel has been the benefit of being, with Brady to get the first ring and so forth. So he's very fortunate there. I think he was very fortunate to be on a very star-studded Rams team to get his second ring. But I don't think that I think that obviously I believe that Chubb is the better running back of the two. I mean, isn't it crazy how their careers have gone? One I think is a lesser, but yet he has more rings. And I think it's just because of the situation. But I think Nick Chubb would have been the better running back in the first round versus Michelle.
Well, yeah, he is the better one. But I mean, I think Nick Chubb, because to answer your earlier question, you basically asked why would Nick Chubb go to a place like Miami where they already have a pretty deep running back room. Well, I think there's two reasons. First and foremost, you mentioned it, the money, right? The Dolphins obviously gave him more. But I think it comes down more to an ego trip. Like, think about it. He was drafted in front of Nick Chubb, yet I've never met a person who calls Sony Michel a top 15 running back ever.
Right.
I've never met a human being. So, like, think about it. He gets drafted to New England. It looked like he was going to be a very important, a focal piece on the New England Patriots offense, right? Like, him and James White was supposed to be our 1-2 punch. And there was even a point where people questioned, why keep James White when you have someone like Sony Michel right behind him, right? Then he loses touches, right? So he basically ends up in Bill Belichick's doghouse. He then gets traded, right? He gets traded to the Rams. And even though he had the touches, as soon as Cam Akers came back, he lost all his touches to Cam Akers immediately right out of the game. So I really think it's a situation where Sony Michel's like, look, I want to prove that no matter where I go, I can prove I'm a premier back. I was drafted in the first round for a reason. So yeah, that's what I think it is.
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree. And then not to switch subject matters, but I'm going to switch subject matters. What's interesting to me, and I want to get your take on this. Mm-hmm. I already posted to Gonzo. Tom Brady, as you know, got his, and that's your boy, Tom Edward Patrick Brady, got his money, and he hasn't even retired yet. And he got his second contract money.
What a guy. What a guy, man. What other quarterback could do that?
Nobody.
Thank you.
Nobody. But there's two questions to that. There's two questions to that, Pride. Number one,
go ahead.
Do you think that maybe, well, I don't think he is, but how crazy is it that he's going to get paid more than Stephen A? And then from a broadcaster standpoint, I think Stephen A is the better talented guy, even though I know why they're giving Brady the money. They're giving it because of his name, right? His legacy, right?
To an extent.
That's my first. Okay, that's my first question. My second question is, if like I was telling Gonzo, if you're Tony Romo and you got a decade of broadcasting now under your belt, are you feeling a certain kind of way because he's getting paid more than you right off the rip and hasn't even retired yet?
Well, first and foremost, let's just get this one out the way. Tom Brady is more entertaining than Tony Romo could ever dream of, right? Like, we got to remember where this money is coming from is just more along the lines of Tom Brady being able, like, I don't know if you guys have noticed it, the last 3 years, like, he's been different. Like, Tom has been more laid back. Like, Tom Brady has not been the same. He's been more funny. It's to the point, like, Tom Brady's admitting that the tuck rule was a fumble. He's admitting that. Let that sink in. Tom Brady, he is now admitting, it was a fumble. It is what it is. Like, right. He's doing this stuff on TikTok. He made a whole TikTok thing, and he's entertaining. He's funny. So I think that's where this is coming from. You know what I mean? Like,
and he's doing a lot more commercials and stuff as well.
Right. Like, because I heard one of you guys basically compared to Peyton Manning, and I think he's gonna go down better than Peyton Manning because he's already hopping on social media, and now he's basically memeing himself. Like, think about that. Like, he's kind of like, oh yeah, all the stuff you guys are making fun of me for, yeah, I'm a hop on it, and that's what he does. So, you know what I mean? Like, hey, you already know how I feel about Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. That's the GOAT. I don't care what nobody says. That's my boy. I'll ride. To me and Tom, bro, we got a great relationship. I just hit him up a couple days ago, right? When it broke, I hit him up. I was like, Tom, how'd you do it? It was like, well, Pride, I got my ways. You know what I mean? I hit up Giselle too. And Giselle was like, I was in his corner haggling for his money too. So we already know how it is. So, you know what I mean? But again,
no, I get what you mean. And that's what I'm saying, right? I feel like, Peyton Manning, when he retired, even before he retired, I mean, he's just a marketing machine, right? Peyton Manning has really branded himself to just be marketable in so many different areas. And Patrick Brady is doing the same thing. He's the same mold. He stays out of trouble. He does the right things. He makes the right business connections, and he's just a marketable guy making money. And I wonder, of all these athletes out there that are going out there doing these crazy, dumb things, how are they destroying? They can be making so much more money and marketing themselves so many other different ways in football, but they just don't do the right things business-wise. And maybe nobody has ever really pulled them aside when they were younger or whatever and taught them, hey, if you do the right things, you're going to make X amount of dollars, even more beyond the football career and what you're trying to do.
But that's and that right there is where you're messing up, because how many guys are thinking that far ahead? Like, you gotta remember, guys are thinking about now. Like, for crying out loud, look at Debo. My guy's like, I gotta go get mines now. AJ Brown, I gotta go get mines now. We got and Justin Jefferson's probably gonna be the next one to end up saying, I gotta go get mines now. Like, you got a whole bunch of these. Like, a lot of guys don't think about 5, 10, 15 years from now because they can't afford it. Like, if you think about it, Peyton Manning wasn't thinking about my life after. He didn't start thinking about that stuff until he broke his neck in Indy.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. I think as some of these players are growing up, you know, or even as they get to the college level, or even as they get to the agent level, or even as they get to the NFL level, before they even step 1 foot on the field, you know, all along the way, they should be teaching these guys, hey, listen, football's great, but there's so much more money out there for you to make beyond football, but you got to do the right things. And if you get caught up in these situations or you're hanging around the wrong kinds of people, you're not going to make the quad. Like, if they got them early enough on to start thinking that way before they even get to the NFL, how much more could we impact them, right?
Yeah. But again, I just think, like, what Tom did, like, I just think Tom having this, you know, like the whole good guy thing, like, that's just a byproduct. Because, like,
it is a byproduct. It's a byproduct. Right? It's a byproduct.
Because think about it. Like, Tom Brady coming out was a boring dude. Like, he was boring, right? Like, that's just what it is. Like, a guy like Ezekiel Elliott, right? Like, his whole life, and he'll tell you, my whole life I've been popular, right? Like, I've always had fun. I've been able to do so, like, as you kind of grow up, you don't let that stuff go. You know what I mean?
Oh, I get it. I get it.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's really how it is for these young guys. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like when that's what you do.
They just don't have the mentorship growing up.
Well, not only mentorship. I mean, think about it. If I'm doing something and I'm not getting in trouble, why am I going to stop?
Well, I get it.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
Like, for instance, if I have this weird pastime of going and kicking cats in the middle of the street, if I don't get in trouble, why am I going to stop?
Hey, I get it. I understand your point of view. I really do. Stat guy, my brother, man. Sorry about the late invite. I apologize. It's been crazy, but hey, man, Tom Brady, man. Like we were just talking about. 10 years, 375, 37 and a half a year. Crazy money. Hadn't even retired yet. What do you think?
You get what you pay for, and if you want the GOAT to be on your network, you got to pay GOAT prices. Simple as that.
That's true.
This is why I like Dustin, because he's smart. He's not a casual. He's not a casual, bro. Dustin is smart. Dustin, who's Tom again?
Thomas Edward Patrick Brady the third, or the junior third.
But what'd you call? No, there's a simpler.
Oh, he's the GOAT.
Oh my God, Dustin! Just hearing you say that, all my depression and my sadness went away. It's crazy. It all just went away.
And that should make you happy, anyways, Pride. Because even when he retires, you can always watch him whenever you want.
I can. See,
Hey, not to ruin the beautiful romantic moment between Stat Guy and Pride, but and I hate to put a depressing note on something, but it is something that we need to talk about, and it's something I just saw recently before the show aired, and I wanted to kind of get you guys' thoughts and opinions on it and what you think about it.
Yeah, but one second, Jay. The bottom line is, the bottom line is you get what you pay for in terms of broadcasting, and you can say the same thing about when Alex Rodriguez was working ESPN for baseball. Most ESPN announcers get like $3 to $5 million a year to do baseball, and Alex Rodriguez was getting $15 million. Just because what he made playing baseball, what he meant to the game, you get what you pay for. They wanted that kind of personality and that kind of face in front of the ESPN screen. They had to pay to get him there. It's going to be the same thing for basketball. If a guy like LeBron James wants to ever get into announcing, well, they're going to have to pay LeBron James $20 million a year just to get him to join the broadcast booth. That's why Tom Brady's getting what he gets, because one thing Tom Brady brings to the NFL is viewership. Whether he's on the field playing, whether he's broadcasting. And if NFL wants viewership when Tom Brady's announcing, pay the guy his $30+ million and you will get your viewership so people can watch him announce.
And by the way,
and that's the thing, right? So Brady, like you said, LeBron, that brings the ratings, and ratings brings the quan, brings the money to the networks. And that's what life's about, is making that money.
Yes, sir.
I get it.
And before we move on, I just want to touch on one thing, because you mentioned A-Rod. It's kind of funny how sought out A-Rod was, because remember when he was with the Yankees and he got popped for the PEDs and he blamed, it was like this whole thing where his teammates wasn't even really defending him. Like, the best defense he got was Derek Jeter saying, yeah, we'll support him. But guys, listen, not everyone's doing it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, sure, he messed up. Like, think about this, bro. His once best friend literally tried to turn his back on him. Remember that entire thing where everyone is like, damn, bro, A-Rod's career is over and all this stuff? He ends up retiring, and they still had a bidding war for this dude.
And when he went on TV, the whole image of him changed. Everybody loved him.
Everything, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, not only him. Remember Randy Moss? He used to be telling people, hey, yo, look my nuts. I don't care about y'all. He used to say, look, I only play when I want. All of a sudden, he's part of the media, and, like, all that stuff got erased. Like, it's just funny and crazy how that stuff changes so fast. Like, it's hilarious, man.
Oh, no, it does. It changes very quick and on a dime, and you would be surprised how much it goes viral very, very quick.
Yeah, it's funny.
But, hey, speaking of going viral, speaking of getting crazy, I know you guys have seen it. Well, first of all, there's two things I want to talk about. The first thing I'll talk about, I want to kind of touch again back on the whole Chris Paul family issue. I found out something today. I was reading, and now the fan that was yanked from the game, the 15-year-old kid, I think he was, he basically said now that he found two other guys. I guess they were bullshitting or whatever in the parlay or whatever, and they wanted to come down where he was sitting. So he brings these two guys that he does not even know. And I think they were kids. I don't think they were like adults. I think they were kids as well. And he brings them down, and now they are the ones that actually, quote unquote, did the violation on Paul's family, and not the kid that was ejected. Have y'all heard that?
I heard that. But I'm gonna tell you this right now. I don't care how old you are. I'm slapping the fire out you. I don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Listen. What a lot of people do nowadays is, like, if somebody was to disrespect your child, you let that rock, right? Because they end up going and apologizing. You'll have people disrespect your child. You know what I mean? And you'll be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna pretend to beat you up. And then 20 minutes later, instead of fighting and defending your family's honor, you end up apologizing to the person who said something about your child, right? So, me personally, I'm not about that, right? Now, my mom's on the other hand, I'll slap fire out you. I don't care if we're friends. I don't care if we're associates. I don't care if we're enemies. I don't care. I will slap you, then I'll spit on you, and I'll spit on my hand and slap you again. I don't care how old you are. I don't care. You're not going to put your hands on my family, and I don't care.
Well, absolutely. No, I agree.
You know what I mean? Now, totally. And like I said, I don't care if he brought them, if he didn't touch them and it was somebody else. Oh well, but guess what? There is still a butt whipping out there that somebody needs to collect.
But you know what's interesting to me? I've never seen.
You can say that I suck. You can say that I'm bad. You can come at me all you want. I don't mind. I got people who do that, and then they still listen to me. They still follow me. They're still my number one fan. Right. So, like, if you want to say something that don't matter, the instant you try to put my family into this, even worse, put your hands on my family, I'm gonna spit on you, slap you, and spit on you again. Why? Because you're not gonna do that. You're not gonna do that. You know what I mean? Like, no, I don't care who it was. I don't care how old you are. I told Rob this. If I'm a commissioner, I'm suspending Chris Paul for a game. Why? Because he didn't hit him. Period. That's it. I'm suspending you because you weren't able to put your hands on him.
I feel you.
And if he hit him once, guess what? I'm fining him for not hitting him twice. And if he hits him 3 times, guess what? I'm still fining him and suspending him. You want to know why? Because it shouldn't take 3 hits to knock him out. Period.
No, I feel you. Hey, and that kid, if you saw the reaction when he was coming out of that scrum, he looked like he didn't know what the hell was going on. He didn't even know what the hell he did. Like, he looked so confused as to everything. It was the most oddest thing. But you know what I find it interesting is that there are 2 conflicting reports on what actually happened. One says that they put hands on the mom and pushed the wife. The other one says that they gave unwanted hugs, and I don't really quite know which one to believe. What do you think? Anybody? What do y'all think?
I mean, I don't know. Either or, don't touch my family.
I know, but if it's a hug, is a hug really that? I mean, if it's a hug, I don't know.
But Jay, hold on, Chris. Jay, let me ask you a question. If a random guy you don't know went to hug Mel, what are you doing?
That's true. I get it. I get it.
Now again, if they want to say, if you want to boo me, I'm good with that. You could boo me. Don't come near my family. Because again, you paid your money to heckle me.
Oh, I get it. But you know what, though? I also live in 2022, and I know that that's not the way the world works. Unfortunately, right or wrong, it's not the way the world works.
No, I'm with you.
You know what I'm saying? Me personally, if I'm Chris Paul and my family are that dear to me, which they are, everybody's family, like you said, Brian, everybody's family is dear to me. I know I got so much damn money. I'm either going to do one or two things. I'm either going to make sure that there is security by my family to make sure that they're straight, or B, I'm going to put them in a suite to where I know nobody can mess with them, and they got all the laps and luxuries and privileges.
I mean,
yeah, but he shouldn't have to. If his family,
he shouldn't have to. But we know
that. I do get your point in terms of, even though letting Chris, because I agree with Chris, but at the same time I agree with you, Jay, because it shouldn't have to be like that. But unfortunately, it is. But at the same time, I'm gonna tell you this right now: if my family wants to sit front row, guess where they're sitting? Front row.
Right. I get that.
I said the same thing yesterday that they could put him in a suite, but then I thought about it. It's like, well, they shouldn't have to do that. But I understand you're going to have
think about it.
A few people act crazy.
Hey, but watch this. Hey, watch this. You ready for this? Hey, you ready for this? Hey, watch this. Hey, hold on. Watch this. John F. Kennedy should have been able to ride in a convertible limousine in Dallas, Texas, and not get his head blown off. But guess what? He got his head blown off. I mean, what you should do and what's smart to do aren't always the same thing. Yes, you should be able to do whatever the hell it is you want. But being able to do whatever the hell it is you want, you've got to understand people are look, in 2022, people are crazy. Did you see the USC fight where the girl jumps out of the stands and runs and tries to jump on the cage just to put it on TikTok? People are crazy, bro. They're crazy.
My feeling on that
is as much as to Brian's question, as much as yes, if my family wants to sit front row, they're gonna sit front. I get that, but at the same time, there's people out there that are crazy. Sometimes is it the smartest?
But here's the thing. But I'm gonna tell you this right now. And this is what I tell my fiance. This is how my mom raised me. This is how I'm gonna raise my kid. Point blank. Period. You can get crazy. I promise you, we get crazier.
Well, that's my point, though. I mean, it's almost like, but is it worth it though? Is risk management, would that be better than?
It would be. I promise you. You want to know why? It's the same thing I tell Braun, because people be testing Braun and they think it's funny. And I told him, you put your hands on one dude one time, I promise you nobody will bother you. Because as soon as they see you, it only takes one time. It only takes one time for you to slap somebody and people go, oh, he's legit. Just like it takes one time for you to let someone disrespect your child and call your child out their name, and then you end up apologizing to them. That makes people look at you different. That makes people look at you as weak and soft and being able to take advantage of.
No, I get it. I understand. Listen, all the points I do understand. I do.
I'm slapping them. And if the commissioner gets mad, guess what? Adam Silver, you can get these hands too. What are we talking about?
It would have took more than just two or three guys trying to hold me back as well, because I can't believe how calm Chris Paul was about it. I'd have been going crazy.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I'm suspending Chris Paul for
my wife or my kids.
I'm suspending him. I'm suspending him for a game.
No doubt. I understand.
If I'm Adam Silver, when I do the press release, I'm not sugarcoating. I'm suspending you for being a bitch. That's what I'm saying right there. Clear. When I put the memo, it's going to be the word and it's going to be quotations. I don't care.
Yeah, I agree with Pride. You can call me whatever the hell you want, but if you start talking about my kids or my wife, my family, that's when I'm going to have a problem.
Watch this. I'm going to show you another example, though. Watch this. Hey, listen to this. Pride and Stat Guy and Gonzo. Watch this. This is how jacked up our world is. Mm-hmm. There's a guy that Memphis weatherman. Have y'all seen it with Draymond Green? Have you seen it? The tweet I'm talking about that was removed? Yeah. So the Memphis weatherman on Fox 13.
Oh, Fox.
Joey Sullivan. You know what I'm talking about? Comes out and makes a quotation on his show, and I quote. And he's talking to Draymond. He's talking about Draymond. Chew on this, Draymond. He goes, chew on this, Draymond. Runs his knuckle-dragging, open mouth all game long, but mild-mannered Kyle Anderson disputes one call and gets ejected. How in the hell? How in the hell? Where has our rule come to? Now we're making racist comments.
Well, first of all,
what the hell?
Well, here's the thing. First of all, it's Fox, so let's just get that off the table, okay?
Well, okay, I get it.
So there's one, right? So it's a weatherman, all right? Let me ask you a question. When's the last time we ever taken a weatherman serious? Can I ask a question?
No, I get that. I get it. And I'm not taking them seriously, but like, are we really that? Is our society really just that bad?
Yes. Because listen, I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why society is this bad. Ready? Simple. When you don't like someone, instead of dealing with facts, you deal with emotion. That's all. Jay, your best friend does it all the time. That's right.
He does. God knows Frankie does it all the time.
Yeah. Oh, Frankie's even worse. But that's the thing. Like,
who are you referring to? Because I don't know, man.
We're talking. Listen, right now, unfortunately, people don't understand how to deal with emotion, right? So when emotionally you get upset with someone, instead of dealing with the reality of the situation, the first thing soft-minded people do is go for insults because they don't know what else to do. Because instead of attacking the problem at hand, they then want to throw insults because their thing is, oh, if I say the harsher insult, that means I won. And it's like, well, no, bozo, because the problem is still there. You see what I'm saying?
Now you're just looking like a jackass.
Exactly. You're looking like except for like the three people who are defending him because they're like, oh, yeah, freedom of speech, even though nobody knows what freedom of speech is, because freedom of speech doesn't mean that you don't want to say whatever you want. It just means that the government cannot stop you from saying whatever you want. But again, picking up the book and reading is very difficult for some people. But anyway, it just comes down to
freedom of speech doesn't mean there's not consequences for your speech.
Yeah, but it just comes down to, unfortunately, in this society, like, instead of dealing with the issue, when people get emotional, they just want to throw insults. And then the problem is
I get it.
And then when those insults don't work, guess what? Now they're looking like idiots because the only fail-safe they had didn't work. The problem is still there. And now, instead of dealing with it, you now delete a tweet and go to your house for a couple of days and hope it all blows down. So
you know that ain't gonna happen. Not anytime soon.
No.
All right, folks. Let's switch gears here for a minute. Pride, we're going to talk about some NBA. And I know this is a good time for you, given that your Celtics just evened up the series. So I know you're going to be in a really good mood today to talk some good NBA action.
In case you guys can't hear, there's the people clapping around me. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, but look, we got the late game tonight of Dallas and Phoenix. So I want to kind of talk about them a little bit first, and then we'll kind of move on and we'll talk about the Philadelphia-Miami game as well. So Dallas, obviously, they evened up the series 2 games apiece. Luka played well. Booker, went 10 of 22 for 35. Chris Paul, we all know Chris Paul did not have a good game, and part of it probably was due to that altercation, but he put up 5 points, 5 and 7. Doncic, 26, 7, 11, and Finney-Smith, 24, 8 and 1, and Brunson had a good game. So everybody came out and played well for Dallas, and obviously Dallas just destroyed Phoenix at the 3-point line, and Chris Paul, as you know, fell into foul trouble, and Phoenix just did not guard the ball at all well. So with all that being said, we'll start top to bottom. Gonzo, how do you feel about Dallas and Phoenix tonight, tied up at 2 apiece, being played? I believe it's in Dallas, if I'm not mistaken.
It's in Phoenix, actually.
Is it in Phoenix?
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. So how do we feel about that game, period?
Well, if Chris Paul doesn't show up, because he hasn't showed up the last 2 games, if he doesn't show up, the Suns are in trouble. Luka's on a mission, and if he can get any help at all from the rest of his team, I can see the Mavericks winning this series. Beginning of the series, I picked the Suns, but now after watching these 4 games, I think the Mavericks are going to win this series.
Absolutely. And let's not forget Ayton, because Ayton really hasn't stepped up as much either, in my opinion.
But Chris Paul can't turn the ball over and only have 5 points. I mean,
exactly. And fall into foul trouble to boot. Yeah. Pride, what are we looking at between in tonight's game? How you think it's going to fare?
I still have the Suns winning. I'm not going by. But I will tell you this right now. The momentum shift right now, it's insanely in the side of Dallas right now. Like, right now, it's basically a best of 3. Dallas is going to have to win once at home. I'm sorry, on the road, because at home they're unstoppable. Like, there's nothing nobody can do, or Phoenix can do when they're at home. Again, I'm going to say in 6. I think the next 2 games, Phoenix Suns kind of handle business and they wrap it up. But again, like on Friday, what's today? Tuesday? Yesterday I had Rob on my show, and his hot take was that he believes Dallas is going to now win the series.
He said that before the series started. He
got me on that. Wow. He said he'd been producing Dallas the whole time.
He had Dallas the whole time?
Wow. But he said he had Dallas the whole time.
And it's crazy because, like, now is when people are actually saying that bravely. Like, and I'll be honest, man, I'm very shocked because, again, and we've had this conversation. I had the Suns in 5. I thought Luka was going to get them a game.
Me too. We both had the Suns in 5.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think me, you, Jay, and you, Gonzo, I think we agreed. I think Justin might have been there. I think he agreed too, where it was going to be in 5 because Luka was, the Suns are clearly the better team, but I thought Luka would at least get them 1. But to get them 2 and have multiple players not only step up, but step up for game 3 and 4, where now it's not just Luka or bust. Now all of a sudden it kind of looks and feels like everyone is now trying to contribute to the play where it's not Luka. Like, think about now they're playing like it's not just Luka or bust anymore. Like right now the Mavs are in the best spot they could possibly imagine. Because 2-2 heading into Phoenix, if they can steal this game 3-2.
All the pressure's on Phoenix.
All the pressure's on Phoenix going, and if I am mistaken, I think it goes Phoenix. I think it's Dallas or Phoenix, and then they go back to Dallas, and then back to Phoenix. If I am mistaken, somebody fact check me on that.
It'd be Phoenix. It'd be Phoenix, Dallas, Phoenix.
Right. Yeah. So like, if they steal this game in Phoenix to go back to Dallas, oh man, I don't know. I'd be relatively concerned.
I would definitely be relatively concerned.
But with all that being said, I'm still rocking with Phoenix. I think Phoenix, I'm going to have to say now Phoenix in 6. If this is a 7-game series, I don't know if it means the Dallas Mavericks are that good or if we've been overrating the Phoenix Suns. I don't know. Again, I'm still rolling with Phoenix. And like I said, I still think Phoenix is a better team. I would never have imagined it was going to be 2-2. Like I said, I thought it was going to be Suns in 5. I thought Luka would steal a game in Dallas, but
2-2. I agreed with you on that too.
I think Iverson Vlogs was asking, he doesn't know how the Suns could be rated at 6.5 tonight, but I think it's just because of the momentum of the back-to-back wins that Dallas is coming off of that kind of put them in that situation.
Because they put them at 6.5 because they're at home.
Yeah, well, that too, obviously. So, stat guy, man, hey, the guy that has every stat I've ever known to man in your brain, what is your prediction for tonight with Dallas and Phoenix based on the last 2 games that Dallas has won?
I mean, if I want to be married by tomorrow morning, Dallas better win because I put $100,000 on the Dallas Mavericks to beat Phoenix tonight in fantasy.
Hey, can I get a loan? Shit.
It's fantasy money, so it's not that big of a figure, but it's still money.
Hey, listen, my money in my bank account's fantasy too for the next 24 hours until I spend it, so whatever.
But I think Dallas wins in 6. I said even on the morning show with you earlier this week, Jay, that I think Phoenix peaked too early. And I said that with about a month left in the season, Phoenix had the Western Conference pretty much wrapped up. Right. So at that point, Phoenix could kind of coast that final month of the season, try to stay healthy, try to avoid any significant injuries, knowing that they had nothing to play for at that point. And I think that's kind of affected them in the playoffs because they weren't playing their best basketball heading into the postseason. Then you have the New Orleans Pelicans take them 6 games and nearly force 7 games. That should have been a red flag for Phoenix right there in the first round because the Pelicans did that without Zion on the floor. And they almost forced 7 games against Phoenix. And now you have a Dallas team that's doing a very similar style to what the Pelicans did to Phoenix in round 1. The only difference is Dallas has Doncic. And if Doncic has a ball in his hand in like a game-clinching game, I trust him over anybody on that Pelicans team. So if Dallas can figure out how to steal a game in Phoenix, they're going to win in 6, but I could also see them winning in 7 just because Phoenix has not looked good.
No, I definitely agree with you. Absolutely. And so let me ask you guys a question before we move on to the next game, which is actually going on right now. I'll give you a quick score update. Miami is up by 11, 21-10, with 4:55 left to go in the first. So Miami is actually coming out and playing pretty well tonight.
You're staying way ahead of my shit.
Hey, but listen, as we saw with the Milwaukee Bucks and Boston Celtics in that fourth quarter, I'm not putting anything past anything anymore. So I'm not going there yet. Pride's over there like, yeah, mofo, you better not. No, but hey, listen. Okay, so my question is this. If Phoenix does not beat Dallas in this series, how do we now look on Chris Paul and this Phoenix Suns? Gonzo, you started off Pride and then Stat Guy. I want you to wrap it up. What do you think, Gonzo? How's it going to affect our viewpoint on Chris Paul and these Phoenix Suns?
I think it hurts them, but I think they'll be almost on the verge of people starting to compare them to the Jazz and not accomplishing anything. I think the only reason you can't compare them to the Jazz yet is because they were in the finals last season. So they did have at least the success of making it to the finals. But if they don't get to at least get to the finals this year or win the championship, people are going to start looking at them as a team that can get over that hump.
Yeah. Pride?
I've been saying this. I think right now this is basically their best. I look at them as the Clippers. Swear to God. Year one was a wide open window. Year two is the widest the window will be. And going on, every single year, the window will not close. Because there's just too many. You got the Memphis Grizzlies coming up. Golden State looks phenomenal. Right now, obviously, you have Dallas. It looks like the Pelicans are going to be even better. So it's like, in my opinion, man, like, do I still think they'll be a playoff team? Yes, of course. But in terms of like the championship expectations, I don't know, man. I think this is their last look. Like, this will be the best year they're gonna have. After this, I think it just gradually goes down. And even then, we also got to remember, it's not like Chris Paul is, at the ripe old age of 29. Like, he's probably got like 2 more years at best right now. He's probably got 2 more years. You lose Chris Paul. I'm not saying that the Phoenix Suns don't know what to do, but you lose Chris Paul, you're not able to replace him. I don't know, man. That's some tough leadership to lose. So, and
a lot of teams in the West can be better next year.
And that's what I'm saying. So it's kind of like this awkward situation where it's like, I don't, you know what I mean? Again, I hope the Phoenix Suns can still be a legitimate top dog team, because again, it's nice to be able to see that, but at the same time, and like I said, I believe right now this is their best window to win. I think this is the most open the window is going to be. And if you lose to Dallas and you don't even make the Western Conference Finals, there can't be any excuses. You can't have any excuses because Chris, like you said, with the Pelicans, or I think it was you, Dustin, with the Pelicans, like at least you can say, oh yeah, D-Book was injured, CJ McCollum played, everyone stepped up. So on the bare minimum, you can say that. But like if you're letting this Dallas team all of a sudden you're letting Dorian Finney-Smith drop 20s on you, bro.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a long series.
Absolutely. Dustin, what do we think about Phoenix if they don't make it past Dallas?
I was literally about to say the same thing that Iverson just posted. If Phoenix doesn't make the NBA Finals this year, or if they do not win it, their window is officially closed because DeAndre Ayton will not be on that team next season.
Right.
They already have failed to reach an extension with him, and he's going to want to get paid. There's a team in the Eastern Conference that has already said they're going to make a run at DeAndre Ayton next year in a sign and trade, and that being the Chicago Bulls. So if the Chicago Bulls are really serious about making a run at DeAndre Ayton where they can get him on a sign and trade, this is Phoenix's window right now. Like, they have to win it right now, otherwise they're going to lose Ayton this offseason, and that window's going to be shut. And everyone's going to kind of blame Chris Paul again and kind of put the whole legacy that Chris Paul will never win a championship. But at this point, really can't shoulder that on him because he's done what he's needed to do in Phoenix. He led his 4th separate franchise to the best record in franchise history.
Yeah.
There's nobody else in the NBA that can say that they've been a part of the 4 winningest teams in 4 different organizations' history, and yet He doesn't have a ring to show for it. You can say the same thing about Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony's had so much success, just doesn't have a ring to show for it. And there's a lot of players like that. You can go to any sport. Look at Randy Moss in the NFL. One of the most accomplished receivers in NFL history. Had one shot to get a ring and didn't get it. There's so many players that are Hall of Fame players that may never get a ring, but that doesn't tarnish the legacy that they have. Chris Paul's a top 3 point guard in NBA history. I don't care what anybody says, and no one's going to argue that.
Right.
Can I ask you a question real quick, Dustin? Just real quick, and then if you guys want to answer, go ahead. Let's say they don't make the finals. Do you really think DeAndre Ayton is still walking?
Yeah.
I don't think you really
Ayton's already said, and his agent has already come out and said that they're not happy with the situation in Phoenix, where Phoenix did not give him the extension that he wanted. He even told Phoenix.
If they offered that extension to him, don't you think he'll take it, or do you think at this point it's too late?
I think it's too late because he told Phoenix last year if they gave him the extension, he would give him a hometown discount. And they did not give him that
curiosity, does having McGee there make Ayton, not that McGee's better than Ayton, but does it make Ayton a little bit more expendable because they feel like they can rely on McGee and put money elsewhere?
That's what I think hurts Phoenix too, because now that they brought in JaVale McGee, Ayton can kind of be like, you want to stick with McGee? That's fine. You're not going to get the same offensive production that you're going to get out of me. Defensively, defensively, he might be better than me defensively, but you're not going to get 25 points, 12 rebounds from JaVale McGee like you would from Ayton, and that's the problem now because Ayton said, you give me the extension now, I'll give you a hometown discount. Well, guess what? They didn't give him that extension. He's not giving Phoenix that hometown discount anymore.
So in this game, Ayton went 7-12 for 14 points, 11 boards, and a few assists. Do you think that maybe they're not getting enough balls down low to Ayton to where he can get more shots to make him more effective in the paint?
I mean, I would say yeah. I would because I mean, think about it. Like when they had the first 2 games, like they could have. Like here's the thing: like people don't understand this about DeAndre Ayton because nobody knows how to watch it. No one knows how to watch basketball. So like DeAndre Ayton has something called a mid-range game. Like he could do something called shooting a ball from inside the 3-point line, but outside the paint. That is what us basketball people refer to as a mid-range shot, right?
Yep.
So he can shoot those. His pick and roll is lethal. He could finish left and right. He could finish above the. They're like, I don't know if it's, but what I think it is, and let me just get that real quick, Anton. I promise I'll swing it to you. But what I think it is the fact that Chris Paul wants the ball, and then when Chris Paul is, when he's not wanting the ball anymore, then it's Devin Booker, right? Mm-hmm. Then after Devin Booker, it's Mikal Bridges. So DeAndre Ayton is like, look, bro, I already know, man. You give me 16 touches, on God, I'm putting up at least 12. So he's like, I'm vibing, bro. It's like whenever y'all want to hit me, y'all can hit me. I'll be here regardless. But I do think they're gonna have to utilize him a little more because DeAndre Ayton is a walking 2010. Like, and
here's the thing. Look at Dallas's centers. Dallas's centers are Maxi Kleber and Powell. You mean to tell me that you can't pound the ball inside to Ayton because Ayton would eat those guys for lunch?
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, and again, this is no disrespect to Powell or Kleber, but let's be honest. Defensively, they ain't it. And they're not stopping DeAndre Ayton, who I don't care what no one says. If you disagree, you don't know basketball. It's a top 5 center in this league. He's a top 5 center in this league based on talent. Like he like when it comes to basketball, he's good at it. So why aren't you going to use it? Like it's the same thing with the Memphis Grizzlies and Triple J. Why aren't you utilizing him when the Golden State Warriors do? The one thing they're lacking is size. That's the one thing they're lacking. Jaren Jackson Jr. is a big, like he's a 4. You could put him at the 5, and he's got speed and agility. So why don't you utilize him more? And it's the same thing with this. Why aren't you giving DeAndre Ayton more opportunities? At this point, it's almost as if they're just like, all right, if the ball goes up, like they're treating him like Rudy Gobert. Bro, he's got a jump shot. You can run plays for this dude. That like he's that talented. So it's like if Phoenix loses and DeAndre, and again, this is probably why DeAndre Ayton ain't begging for the ball, because in his mind, he's like, hey, yo, I don't care. I'm out anyway. Because on my mother, I know teams that will throw a super duper max contract at me just because they know what I do. Like the Utah Jazz, they'll cut Rudy Gobert if they know for a fact they will eat up that dead cap money to sign DeAndre Ayton.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas would get DeAndre Ayton. Chicago would get DeAndre Ayton and throw that money at him. Miami would throw that money at him. Those are just 4 teams I just named that would throw money at him. And ready to hear the funny thing about all 3 teams? They just made the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So they better start utilizing him. If you don't want to utilize him, hey, that's fine. I know one place where they will utilize you. I know one destination where they respect their players, where they don't let no one disrespect their players. I know one place where they cherish and value you for the talent you truly are. Come on over to Boston, big fella. Let it do what it do. You feel me? You feel me? Listen, KG left a poverty franchise. I got him a ring. Come on over, Rover. We got some room for you, bro. We got some room for you. It's all right. You feel me? You know, come on over, DeAndre, and you feel me? My guy's so nice. I'm gonna call him D-Hop. That's it, bro. I'm calling him D-Hop from now on. Come on over, bro. I know it. We got room for you, bro. Is that tampering? Is that tampering? I don't think it is because I'm not signed with the team, so I don't think it's tampering.
Yeah, I don't think it's quite tampering, but it may be close. I hope you don't get fined for that. If so, that was not my idea. This is prideful takes you can reach.
No, don't throw it on me. Don't throw that on me. No.
If you have a problem with it, send it to Freddie.
Hey, listen, I don't know about that. Hey, whatever.
It's all Fredward. Slide it over to Fredward. Yeah, man, they need to utilize him.
Pride made my point. That's what I was going to say. He looks better when either Chris Paul or Booker, if one of them are off the court, Ayton looks better because he gets attempts. He actually gets to touch the ball.
Yep.
And then Dustin, I was going to ask you, if the Bulls do a sign and trade for Ayton, who do you think they will get rid of?
Vucevic.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, Vucevic is still very productive. He still gave the Bulls 18-11 or 18-12 this year, which that's still a solid season. But the previous 6 seasons before that, when he was with Orlando, and then even when Chicago made the trade last year, he was given the Magic 23-13. So not only did he have a down year offensively, and he went through his worst shooting season since his rookie year, but he's a defensive liability. And that's the main reason why the Bulls want to move on from him, because for as much as he gives you on the offensive side of things, he's terrible on defense. Mm-hmm. And even if you bring in DeAndre Ayton, if the Bulls bring in DeAndre Ayton, yes, Ayton might not give them 20-10, 25-10 like he's capable in Phoenix. He might put up similar offensive numbers to what Vucevic did this year, where he's giving you like 18 to 20 points, 11 or 12 rebounds. But the one thing he does bring is defensive ability. And that's what the Bulls were lacking, especially the second half of the season, and that's where the Bulls want to get better, is just having more of a defensive presence in their front court that can be a rim protector and just dictate a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the Bulls would have to give up anything else besides Vucevic, draft picks or anything?
Not really, because I'm at the point now where Zach LaVine can kiss my rear end and leave, especially if he honestly thinks that he's going to get the money that he expects to get after his playoff performance last year.
Because I think they do a sign and trade. I think they might end up doing that. They might let Chris Paul walk and bring in Zach LaVine to pair him with
Devin Booker.
To pair him Devin Booker future-wise.
And if that's the case, then I would be fine with the Bulls keeping Vucevic, just sliding Vucevic from the 5 to the 4. Bringing Ayton in as your 5, putting Williams from the 4 back to his natural position at the 3, making DeRozan your 2, and keeping Ball as your 1.
And you know, you'll be in a good situation. But on top of that, you can still flip Vooch for something. Mm-hmm. You can still flip Vooch for like a guard, like a Rondo or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or well, not Rondo, like a Seth Curry or something like that. Because you do you're in that lineup, you're gonna need shooter. You need somebody who can shoot threes reliably, right? Don't get it twisted. Lonzo Ball's getting better, but he can't be your only three-point threat out there. Because Vucevic this year from the 3, dude looked like Jimmy Butler. The dude is just horrible from 3.
Yeah, he still shot 35%, which isn't terrible for him. But I mean,
see, and that's the thing. I swear to God, that's a fake stat. Swear to God, it's a fake stat. Because every time I look, he's missing. Swear to God.
Well, that's the thing, though. That's the thing. Like, he'll go 4 or 5 games where he shoots like 1 of 7 or 1 of 8 from threes, but then he'll have 2 games where he goes. Then he'll have 2 games where he goes 5.
Justin, tell the full story. He goes 1 of 8 per game. This dude is out here.
And then he'll have 2 games where he goes 5 of 6, and all of a sudden his percentage goes from like 20% up to 35 because he has 2 good games.
And it's insane. It's insane just how high it goes. I swear to God, bro. Every time, and especially the playoffs against Milwaukee, I would see him shoot, and I'm just like, okay, cool. I will get up, use the bathroom, come back. He has the ball again, shoot, miss. And I'm like, damn, that's crazy. And then my kids are crying, so I change their paper. I come back, he gets the ball, shoot, miss. And I'm like, all right, look here, brother. At this point, bro, you and I had the same number of threes, and I have not touched a basketball since I left Connecticut. I don't get how you're like, do you not realize how big you are? Go inside, my guy. Listen, he's playing like Kristaps Porzingis. He's playing like Kristaps Porzingis. Swear to God, he's playing like Kristaps. You're that big for no reason, bro. Give me some of that size, and I promise you, I have.
I used to say that about Miles Turner. Like, dude, go down low, wanting to shoot threes all the time.
Yeah, look what are you doing?
Yeah. All right, we're gonna go on to the next game. We done killed the crap out of this game. Hey, let's talk about this. Who we got next on the Heat and Bucks? Again, the score right now is, and I don't see it on my TV, but we'll wait for it to come up. And it is. I go again.
Heat and Sixers.
Do you have the score? Oh no, here we go. 30. Good God, Miami 31, Philadelphia 19.
That's fine.
Good Lord, no, that's not fine. Good Lord, that's nasty.
No, it is. It is.
That is a shellacking.
But it's Miami.
Yeah, this game's far from over.
Oh, I know it's far from over, but damn. Okay, listen.
It's Miami.
Harden showed up. I don't have the stats pulled up. Does anybody have the stats pulled up to see where Harden's at?
James Harden is shooting a 3 for 6 right now with 7 points.
And where's Embiid at?
Embiid is 2 for 4 with 4 points. Tobias Harris is 3 for 6, 2 for 2 from deep with 8 points.
So what is that telling you guys? For me, that tells me that they're not getting either one of their mega superstars involved enough. They're not taking enough shots on the bucket.
And then you got Jimmy Butler's got 11. Max Strus has 11.
I'm gonna say this right now, and I've said it before. You can give the Miami Heat a 100-point lead. They'll blow it. They'll find a way. They'll blow it. This is not a team I'm comfortable in. I would rather, and this is no exaggeration, I would put more faith in a lineup 1 through 5 of 5 clones of me fresh after my car accident where I broke my back, and I'll ride them when I'll put my money on them over Miami Heat. Come on, stop playing, bro. Again, give them a 100-point lead, and guess what's gonna happen in like 20 minutes? All of a sudden, you're gonna blink and they're down 15, and I'm gonna be here shrugging my shoulders like, okay. Like, I'm telling you, bro, they're gonna blow it.
So I have no
Frankie right now said that they're Heat garbage. Frankie's always been saying they're Heat garbage, but and they may be, but right now Heat garbage is up by 11. Well, okay, you're right. I get what you're saying because
thank you.
Quite honestly, 11 points really.
Hold on.
We're up by 11. Embiid hasn't done nothing yet.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. They're up by 11. And here's the question I have: how long or how deep are we in the game?
There's still 10 minutes left in the second quarter.
Like, what the fuck are we talking about? We got a whole second half.
A whole second half for Miami to blow it.
Thank you, man. Look, listen, Jay, what did I call this? For me, it's the battle of the untrustables. What are you trusting more, Miami Heat or Joel Embiid's health? I don't know. I'm losing either way. I'm losing either way. But again, we can't say Miami Heat is not a championship team because then you don't know what you're talking about. Even though ever since Joel Embiid came back, they lost the last 2 games, and it's kind of funny because Game 3 when they got blown the double the fuck out of there, Joel Embiid didn't even pop off.
In my view,
Miami Heat. Hold on. Miami Heat is a defensive team, right? They are so much of a defensive team. They let Houston Rockets James Harden come back. What am I supposed to do with this foolishness? What am I doing with this foolishness? They let James Harden drop 31 on your heads. What? Come on, man. Stop playing, man. I've been saying this. This Miami Heat team is one of the most overrated number 1 seeds in the history of the game. They are up there with the Boston Celtics when we had Isaiah Thomas, and we almost lost to the Chicago Bulls at 8 seed. We almost lost, and if Rondo don't get hurt, we're getting swept. That's just the reality of the situation. We were supposed to get swept. God was nice to us. The Atlanta Hawks of 2014, where they were the one team only to get shellacked by Braun by Braun, and then the Utah Jazz when they were the one seed. Like, who cares?
Yeah. Whoever wins this series isn't going to move on from the next series. So at least I don't think so.
And that's true. That's true. And of course, and they're going to have a hard time going up against the winner of the Celtics and Milwaukee, because that series is, and those two teams are just off the chain. Stat guy, what do you think about this Miami team or even 76ers team? Can they, whoever comes out of this, what are their chances going up against Milwaukee or even Boston?
I mean, I don't like either one of their chances. I felt Philadelphia was going to get the number 1 seed once they acquired James Harden, because the moment they get James Harden, they went from the 5 seed to the 1 seed, and then go figure, Doc Rivers is your coach, and then you start playing like crap after that. Miami's just Miami. They always have a consistently good regular season. They always finish in the top 3 in the Eastern Conference. They always make a deep playoff run, but that's about it. Because they don't have a superstar. They have a all-star in Jimmy Butler. They have a couple other all-stars and a great supporting cast, but they don't have that superstar that can take over a game like Giannis or Tatum or Jaylen Brown or any of those players that Boston or the Bucks have.
Yeah, they don't have that go-to guy in the fourth quarter.
You call Jaylen Brown a superstar?
Yes, I am.
God damn, Dustin, I'm calling you, and you gonna say that over and over again so I can fall asleep. Damn, Dustin, wow.
Yeah, I mean, Philadelphia has 2 superstars in James Harden and Joel Embiid.
Okay, all right, hold on. See, now you lost me there, Chief. Nah, James Harden not a superstar.
He's still a superstar when you look at his numbers. He's just himself. He can't get out of his old ways once the playoffs start.
Probably downgrading him back to just a star.
Yeah, like once the playoffs start,
I'll be nice and call him an all-star, but like a superstar, like
James Harden's a superstar during the regular season, but once the playoffs starts, James Harden's an all-star.
Bro, my guy not even putting up Tobias Harris numbers, man. What are we talking about, bro?
But yeah, like
all right. So hey, speaking on tonight's game, we kind of knew that where it was left off. We're 2 games apiece. The Sixers are coming off a 2-game consecutive win streak. Now that Embiid is back and doing well, and you can see that Harden in the last game picked it up. Now, tonight they're struggling a little bit, but like you said, it's 11 points, and that really doesn't mean a whole lot because given what the Celtics did in the fourth quarter, kind of shows you that the game's never really over. I know. Hey, Brian, I'm giving you max props tonight. But stat guy, I want to hear it from you, man. What is your prediction for tonight's game between the Sixers and Heat? Who comes out on top, in your opinion?
Miami comes out on top tonight just because they're at home. I'm not saying they're a better team than Philadelphia, but they are playing at home, and we've seen this entire playoffs that it's usually the home team that comes out on top, minus a couple games here and there. And once you have that road team win a game to gain that advantage, that's kind of where the series shifted. Like you look at the first round, Miami made everything look easy against Atlanta. Boston took Brooklyn to the woodshed and beat them like a runaway child and just did not give them their food for a week. And then you had Chicago, who made things 1-1, and it looked like Chicago had the upper hand. But then the moment the Bucks win Game 3, that series shifted. Same thing here in the second round. You have Golden State winning Game 1 at Memphis, and immediately taking that game, they gained the momentum. And now they're up 3-1. You had Phoenix going up 2-0 at home. Dallas goes up 2-0 or ties things up 2-2, where if they win tonight in Phoenix, they have all the momentum. Bucks take Game 1 in Boston. Looks like the Bucks have all the momentum, and then Boston evens it up, and now they take Game 4 in Milwaukee, and now Boston has the momentum again. So if Philadelphia finds a way to win tonight, they're going to have all the momentum going into Game 6. I just don't see it happening. I think the series goes 7 games, but I think the home team wins all 7.
Interesting. Gonzo, you kind of heard what Stat Guy and Pride all of them been saying. What's your opinion on tonight? Who wins it? And I guess who do you think is going to take this series, given it's 2 apiece?
I think the 76ers are going to win tonight, and I think the Sixers are going to take the series. Miami just don't have nobody that can stop Embiid. I know he hasn't got off to a great start tonight, but I think in the second half he's going to go off, and I think Sixers will pull out the win tonight, and then all the pressure will be on the Heat.
Right. I mean, they're only down by 8 points, and there's still 8.5 left to go in the second. So we got a lot of game left to play. But I will be honest with you, if the Heat really want to, or excuse me, if the 76ers want this game tonight, it's going to take Harden and it's going to take Embiid, and they're going to have to step their game up if they want to win tonight, for sure. I mean, without a doubt. Not that Maxey and Harris aren't doing good, but these are the guys. These are the guys that is going to get you the game. Harris down low over Adebayo, and Harden obviously over Butler. I mean, these are the guys that got to pull it out. All right.
Well, here's the other thing that you have to take into consideration.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is the sole reason why I am not picking Miami, and I don't trust Doc Rivers. I don't.
You know what's interesting? No, stat guy, because you know what's interesting? Let me ask you this question. I've got a very, very, very important question that I need you to be the deciding factor of, and you're very important right now because Pride has told me, and not that I don't believe Pride, because Pride is a very intellectual sports guy.
Thank you.
But Pride has made the argument that Doc Rivers is a better coach than Eric Spoelstra. What is your opinion? Who do you think is a better coach between the two, if you don't mind me asking?
When did I say that?
You said it, Pride, when I said Spoelstra was better.
Serious.
And you said no, you said Doc was.
Okay, no, you're right. Before the series. Oh, yeah, you're right. No, I do think that. I know I think that. I just don't remember ever saying it here. But yeah, no, Doc Rivers is way better coach than Eric Spoelstra. It's not even close. What I genuinely believe it is, and I just want to, I'm gonna tell you my side, Dustin, real quick.
Okay.
I'm saying no one ever said Eric Spoelstra was better than Doc Rivers. The only reason people are saying it now was because of the 3-1 lead that was blown, and then the whole debacle with the Philadelphia 76ers. Like, that's why I think Doc Rivers is still a great coach. Like, people say, oh yeah, he blew 3-1 lead. When he was with Orlando, yes, he blew a 3-1 lead when they were the 8 seed and they were the number 1 seed. And he blew it to the Detroit Pistons, who went on to win the championship. Then with the Clippers, before Kawhi Leonard, they just kept getting injured. So I don't think it's fair to hold those two against them. Now, again, the one with the Nuggets, that's brutal. That's horrible. He needs to wear that, and that's definitely his fault. Because when things got rough, he kind of turned his back and pouted. But to say, oh, yeah, he killed that, he dropped that 3-1 lead. Oh, yeah, he's not a better coach than Eric Spoelstra. You know who else dropped the 3-1 lead? Steve Kerr in the finals. And not a single soul says all of a sudden that he's a horrible coach. So I just think it's a lot of hatred going around. Did Doc Rivers mess up? Yes, he did. But to all of a sudden pretend like Eric Spoelstra is this wizard and in terms of X's and O's, he knows it all. Come on, bro. That's in my opinion, extremely uneducated.
That's it. That was exactly verbatim. What he just said now was a verbatim what he said, and which is and that's why I knew Pride knows what Pride says. But my thing about it is with Doc, and then I'm gonna give it, and we're gonna give it to Dustin for his analysis. But my problem with Doc, I don't think he makes the right adjustments. It's an adjustment thing with Doc. That's what the problem I have. Stat guy, give me your opinion between the two coaches. Which one do you think is better and why?
The only reason why I give the nod to Eric Spoelstra as being a better head coach is I just think he is more consistent in the playoffs, but he also does, I think, a lot more with a lot less. Yes, he did have Chris. Yes, he did have Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, and LeBron James for those 5 years.
Which has been the only time he was ever successful as a head coach.
But I'm just saying, you take away those players.
He's a mid-average coach.
But since they left, though, he still gets them to the playoffs. He still has a top 3 seed in the East every single year, and he doesn't have that.
Doc Rivers was the number 1 seed last year.
Hold on, Pride. Let him get on this full thing real quick.
He doesn't have the standout superstar that a lot of these other rosters have. He has all-stars, yes, but he's put a system in place where everybody knows their role on the team. Everybody knows their role in his system, and they buy into a system. Then you look at Doc Rivers. Every stop that Doc Rivers has made, he's had at least one superstar. every team that he's coached, he's had at least one superstar shouldering the load. Going back to Orlando, he had a young Dwight Howard, who was the most dominant center in the league at that time. Then he goes to Boston.
He didn't coach Dwight Howard.
Has the big three in Boston, which we all know how that turned out for him in Boston. Goes to the Clippers. He has Kawhi. He has Paul George. He has Chris Paul. He has several great players when he's with the Clippers. Now he goes to Philadelphia, and he has Joel Embiid, and he's got James Harden, and he even had Ben Simmons, who didn't play. But every team that Doc Rivers has coached, for the most part, he does have one or two superstars that do help him. Obviously, you still need to know how to coach to win with superstars, which is why I still say Doc Rivers is a great head coach, and he's always going to be a great head coach. But the only reason why I give Spoelstra the nod is just because of what he can do with his teams without having that true superstar leading the way. It's a bunch of all-stars that buy into his system.
Everyone tells me what he's done. So you're sitting here and telling me, oh, yeah, they were the number one seed. Doc was the number one seed last year. So does Doc Rivers get no credit for that? Or are you going to continue to penalize him for having a superstar?
No, I give him.
No. If we're going to penalize for superstars, then the 4 years that Eric Spoelstra had LeBron James, those should not be counted then. If that's the route we're going. Don't feed me this malarkey talking about, oh, yeah, he's done more with less. Because that's not true. He's done that now, sure. Before that, the dude was a first-round exit.
Yo, I know. I agree.
So stop feeding this false narrative about, oh yeah, Eric Spoelstra, man. The dude is no. There have been multiple times, especially with LeBron James, D Wade, and Chris Bosh, he was out coached heavily. And because of LeBron James, because of D Wade, and because of Chris Bosh, they bailed him out. That is a conversation people are scared to have. They're scared to have that conversation. But
let me ask you this, Pride. When Doc Rivers won the championship with the Celtics, how many more years beyond that championship did he coach the Celtics?
He left, what was it, 20? He was there for like, what, 3-4 more years?
So let me ask you this.
Around there?
He had Garnett, Ray Allen, the accoutrement, at least for 2 or 3 more years after they won the championship. Why did they not turn out another championship? When clearly Spoelstra turned out another championship, even though, he made it to the finals, 3 times? I know because LeBron James lost a couple of them.
Yes, he went there. He won 2
as well.
Times. He went there 3 times. I understand that. Ever since then, explain to me what he's done. He's been the definition of a first-round exit. The definition, he's the epitome of a first-round exit. So if we're going to knock Doc Rivers for having superstars, if we're going to knock him for that, I need you guys to strip the 2 rings from Eric Spoelstra. Because if you strip those 2 rings from Eric Spoelstra, he is an average coach at best. He's an average coach who can talk into a mic. That's what he is. In terms of adjustments, do you know what he does? Do you want to know what he does in terms of adjustments? He stands there staring. Occasionally, he'll yell at someone when people are ignoring him. And then guess what? On the off chance he yells at the wrong dude, he almost got beat up by Mario Chalmers.
I got one last question. I got one last question for you.
Man.
I got one last question. If Doc Rivers was in place of Spoelstra with that Miami Heat team, and I'm talking about the Miami Heat team with LeBron and them all the way into the Adebayo, Jimmy Butler years, what would Doc Rivers done in that time span that Eric Spoelstra's done in that time span? Like, how much better would he have been with Miami than what Spoelstra's been?
If Doc Rivers is there, they don't blow the Dallas Mavericks series. They don't blow that. I'll tell you that right now. They won't blow that, because I will tell you this right now. You can have whatever knocks you want about Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers holds his players accountable, no matter where you've been, no matter if it was with
right. I get you
Orlando,
on that.
when he held Tracy McGrady accountable, whenever it was at the Celtics, when it was just Paul Pierce, he would hold him accountable, and then after that they would end up getting Rondo. He would hold Rondo accountable, even though this is public record. He is one of, if not the most difficult person Doc Rivers has ever had to deal with ever. He held KG, Ray Allen accountable. He then goes over to the Clippers and he holds Chris Paul accountable. He held DeAndre Jordan, Blake Griffin. He held JJ Redick. He held Jamal Crawford. He held every single dude accountable. So I guarantee you that first year, he's holding them accountable. And after game 1, he's telling Bron, do better. I guarantee you it's not just D Wade saying something. I promise you it's not just D Wade.
So let me ask this, because and I'm pretty sure you look at the private chat. Stat Guy did put up a really good argument in terms of factual-based stuff, and I want to get your opinion on this, Pride. Honestly, I really do. And I really want your opinion here. Erik Spoelstra, his winning percentage with head coach as a head coach was .612 with LeBron James and .590 without LeBron James. Doc Rivers has a .588 percentage.
He had D Wade.
So what are we doing with that?
He had D Wade. Yeah, D Wade. If we're talking about superstars, he had D Wade, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So without LeBron James,
he had D Wade, but that's all he had because correct me if I'm wrong. That's kind of when Chris Bosh kind of was taking his sabbatical for all the injuries and health issues that he was dealing with.
So superstar. I'm just using Dustin's argument.
No, I get it. But what I'm saying is,
every time he had one superstar. D Wade was still a superstar. Am I right or am I wrong, Dustin?
What was it?
Coming to my TED Talk. I'm just saying.
I how he does that so fast.
Nah, I'm just saying. I'm just saying
you're so fast with the TED Talk.
I'm just saying, man. Like, don't get it twisted. I understand. You know what I mean? If you want to knock Doc Rivers for what he did against the Clippers that last year, I will never. And Jay, we've had this discussion. I will never, ever, ever in my life ever justify what he did that last time when he had Kawhi Leonard and Paul George and they choked in the playoffs, that 3-1 lead. I will never in my life ever.
All right, I got one last piece of nugget that and I love Stat Guy. Look, this guy knows his shit. He really honestly does. Let me ask you this, Pride. And we're going to go on to the next game because the next game is the Bucks Celtics. And I really want to touch on that with you specifically. Yeah. Last 4 years, Spoelstra has put up a .638 winning percentage, third best in the NBA, and Rivers has a .596. How do you respond to that?
And this is the same Doc Rivers who load managed and intentionally threw games to the rest of Kawhi Leonard.
I'm just asking the question.
But I'm telling y'all, tell the full story. Don't make it seem
that's okay. So that's part of your analogy. I'm just giving you the numbers.
I understand that, but if you're going to give the numbers, give context. Because you can't just throw that out there and pretend it's a gotcha. Because this is the same Doc Rivers who has let his players rest, who has let James Harden rest, who has let Joel Embiid rest, who has let Tobias Harris rest, who has let Paul George, Kawhi Leonard rest. Like, if you're gonna tell the story, tell the full story. Like last year,
but Spoelstra hasn't had to deal with issues in terms of injuries with his team.
Not as much as Doc Rivers.
Not as much as Doc Rivers. Not as much as Doc. I don't know. Not as much as Doc Rivers.
You can say Doc Rivers had superstars, but look how many games Joel Embiid has missed. Look how many games players were out.
You get it.
Thank you.
He had to manage a team and still got the teams in playoff position.
Thank you. Without Joel Embiid, my guy out here is getting him to a top 3 seed, but we got to give flowers to Erik Spoelstra and disrespect Doc Rivers. Whatever y'all
I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm just asking the questions. And again, and that's a good nugget. So again, playoff winning percentage from Rivers is at .623, which is a little bit better than Spoelstra at .620. So I mean, they're not far off, right? I mean, I don't know, man. How much better these guys?
The numbers are real close, but I
don't know. For me, Pride, I almost want to kind of say those guys are the same. Stat Guy.
What was that?
Stat Guy, go ahead.
No, what was your question?
Oh, no, I thought you were raising your hand like we were in
class.
No,
I'm putting something on TV for my daughter.
I literally thought you were raising your hand like we were in class. I was calling on you.
Listen, all I'm saying is I genuinely believe that the reason why people are so ready to disrespect Doc Rivers is because of that drop 3-1 lead. Before that 3-1 lead, it was a universal consensus that Doc Rivers was a top 3 coach in the league.
And I will go as far.
That 3-1 lead, and all of a sudden, Erik Spoelstra, who still ain't done nothing, bro. He's still.
I will go as far as saying this.
No, hold on. He made ever since LeBron left, he made one finals appearance. Nope. Why don't y'all talk to me about before like after LeBron left? Why won't nobody talk about the times he was a first round exit? Why will nobody want to? When he was the equivalent of the Charlotte Hornets, bro. When they were just making the playoffs just because there was a spot open, getting waxed in the first round. Why do nobody want to talk about that? I'm asking for a friend.
I will say this too, though. Take the 3-1 lead out of it. When he made the finals with the Orlando Magic and basically put up a non-existing fight against the Lakers, if he would have won one or maybe even 2 games, nobody's talking about.
Fight? What do you mean a non-existent fight against the Lakers?
They got swept, didn't they?
Doc Rivers wasn't the coach of that.
He wasn't the coach when Orlando went to the finals?
No. He was the coach there when he had Tracy McGrady. That was Stan Van Gundy.
Okay. Well, then never mind.
That was Stan Van Gundy. Because that was right before Dwight basically demanded the trade and said, I'm going to LA. And he started basically trying to copy Shaq. I'm just saying, man, I don't think it's fair. That's just me, man. I don't think it's fair to look at a guy. Yes, he dropped that 3-1 lead, and if you want to kill him for it, you can. I have no problem with that. All I'm saying, for crying out loud, I don't think it's fair and respectful to look at that and then say, "Oh yeah, that's all he's been."
Hey, anybody with a cat? I got a cat that literally is going absolute crazy right now. I'm about to send him to you, Dustin. Listen. We're gonna go ahead and shift gears because we're gonna talk now about Pride's absolutely unequivocally favorite team in the whole wide world, the Boston Celtics. We're gonna talk about these Celtics and these Bucks. I literally thought, Pride, so much so that I may have made a few preemptive comments.
A few. And then when the Celtics won, Jay, I called 911. I did. I called 911. The operator told me to leave her alone because then you started responding. You went missing. I was like, "Where's Jay McLovin?" I was like, "I hope he's okay."
Listen. It was very, very untimely in a married man's life. Take that with what you will. That actually occurred. But if you notice, I didn't run. I was just a little late showing up to the party, but I came. And I gave my congratulations. I gave my apologies.
You came twice, Jay. Get it? That's a knee slapper.
I'm just saying, hey, listen, I was there. I didn't run from you. I was just a little late to the party. But, hey, no doubt about it. Listen, it's amazing because the whole game, I'm thinking like, man, Bucks got this. Bucks. Up to a point where I went into the fourth quarter and the wife said, hey, babe, it's time. And, bro, when she gives me the eyes, I know what she means, and I don't want a divorce, so I'm going to do my husbandly duties. And then I come back, and I see the game was lost, and I go back and look at all the videos, and I read about the fourth quarter, and then I go to my Facebook Messenger, and I see I'm being called out by Pride and everybody in the sun, and I'm just thinking, like, damn, what a fourth quarter it was. The Celtics had a huge fourth quarter, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know, they outscored the Bucks 43-28. Now, to put that in perspective, Tatum went for 12, Horford went for 16, and between the two of them, 28 points. The two of them tied the entire Bucks team. That's how crazy the fourth quarter was. And I don't know. Listen, one thing I know is you never piss somebody off when you're trying to win a competition because then you get above and beyond what they were going to give you in the first place. And then Al Horford has never scored 30 points in his life. But when Giannis gave him the smirk after he dunked on him, Horford was like, that ain't gonna happen twice. Now I'm about to go into revenge mode. So what does he do? He blows up. He dunks over Giannis. Well, he gave Giannis a fake. Then goes around Giannis, dunks it on Giannis' forehead, and puts the elbow right there, crack dab on his nose. I'll tell you, folks, I don't care if you got a technical or foul or not. It was worth it. I hate to say it, but that was one hell of a play. And you knew right then and there, Horford meant business to the point that he scored 16 points in that quarter alone to go for that 30. And I'm telling you, Horford went 30. He went 11 of 14, 5 of 7 at the three-point line, 8 rebounds. I mean, the guy was on freaking fire. Fire. To where he lit up everybody else on that team and Tatum pitched in his 30. The Celtics shot 50%, which is far better than the 36 and the 33% prior. And that really was a difference. Now, Giannis did his best. He gave you 34 on 14 of 32 and 18 rebounds. He did what he could, but Grayson Allen, nobody else really truly showed up. Brown got into foul trouble. Celtics shot 41%, and that gave you the 2-2, and gave the Celtics and Pride bragging rights heading into Game 5. We're going to start with Pride first, since it's his team we're talking about. Then we're going to go in reverse order, Stat Guy and then Gonzo. So, Pride, go ahead. This is your moment, man. Bring it home, baby.
Oh, man. I woke up today. Woke up at about 8 o'clock in the morning. I poked my head in my kids' room because I didn't hear them. Usually they're up and stirring about, so I poked my head in the room. So they were knocked out. You know what I mean? My little daughter, she snored. It's cute. She got snored just like her mom. It's like mad quiet there. Right? So it's adorable, right? And I'm just looking at it, I'm like, man, I helped create these two kids. You know what I mean? Like there's guys out there that abandon their kids and then accidentally knock up another woman. So then they're forced to stay in that position. But I helped create two beautiful children. And I'm able to wake up with them every day and look at them and hug them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was so great. And I'm like, man, this is amazing. You want to know what it's amazing? The Boston Celtics are just proving to everybody that we are to be reckoned with. We are a force of nature. Nature. Because I'm telling you, bro, we are a problem that cannot be solved. The only way the Celtics can lose is if we beat ourselves. We are the Da Vinci Code. You feel me? Well, we're a skeleton key. We can open any door imaginable. We are the guy. You know, we're like, you know that guy that you see that's a real Casanova. He's smooth with the ladies, but at the same time, he respects his mom. He does the dishes. He does all that stuff. Well, rub your eyes, guys, because that's not a guy. That's the Boston Celtics. I've been telling y'all I'm good and I'm vibing. Every single time we lost, Jay McLovin was like, Pride, are you scared? Jay, every time I said, I ain't worried. I was chilling. I was vibing. I told y'all we could be down 3-0. And it was going to be Celtics in 7. I kept screaming that. And guess what? Lo and behold, while everyone else is abandoning ship, here I am, proud, in charge. I am the captain at the helm. Ladies and gentlemen, the Boston Celtics got a double-digit win over the Milwaukee Bucks. And I'm telling you, by the time we done, they going to be those. Because we going to slap, mop, drop, and top them off. On our way to the finals, I was living my best life. We ain't worried about these Celtics. And you know who else was worried? Al Horford. Because my guy out here, he couldn't miss. That dude don't.
No, he was on point. He literally was on.
Right. Like,
he was on point.
Good. Yes, like he's good, right? So I'm chilling. Jason Tatum, another 30 bomb, which is kind of on par with what he does. Because every time he struggles, he just drops a beautiful. The dude is like a savant, my guy, bro. Every time he messes up, he's like a stupid kid, literally solving like some complex algorithm, bro. My guy's just writing on the chalkboard. He's solving things. Oh my God, that kid is special. But you want to know what else is special? This team, because everybody said there were some people out there who had the nerve, the gall, the audacity to look into people's face and say, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown can't play with each other. And I'm like, dog, you want to get smacked now? Because here's the thing. If you're going to get slapped now, you're going to get slapped by me. Later, it's going to be by the Celtics. And you want to know why you want to get slapped now? Because I don't know if you guys can see, my hand ain't got no jewelry. You feel me? Because when you get smacked with the Boston Celtics, they going to do like how my stepdad did. They going to flip that ring inside out and they going to smack you. So that way you going to feel about 5 pounds of NBA title. I done told you people.
People that say they can't play together don't watch the games.
Thank you. And I had people tell me this with a straight face, and I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about, because clearly you are, with all due disrespect, a moron. But lo and behold, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the SS Boston Celtics full speed ahead, where we have home court advantage. We're gonna smack them. We're gonna get rid of the Bucks, and then we're gonna be on our way to the Eastern Conference Finals, where we're gonna beat whoever's there. We're gonna beat them. And then we're gonna go over to the NBA final. And whoever comes out of the West can come get this work. They can come get this work. But before I get too ahead of myself, let's finish off the Bucks, because I've been consistent with this. Before I call us title contenders, I want to see what were the two teams I said we had to beat, Jay McLovin?
You said the Nets and the Milwaukee Bucks.
And who did we beat first round?
Well, you swept the Nets.
And who are we on the verge of beating this round?
Well, you're not on the verge. You're tied. Let's keep it at a point. You're tied with the Milwaukee Bucks going back to Boston. So you're looking good.
Let me ask you a question. Is Ty losing? Because we not. Boston in 6, I done told y'all. And when it happens, you can call me Mystic Mac. Because tomorrow...
Hey, listen, if that happens, I absolutely, unequivocally will. No doubt about it. Here's the thing. Before we get to Gonzo's opinion and on the subject matter, stat guy, before I don't know if he lost power or what, but he did put out an interesting stat. He said, getting back to head coaches, I have to give Coach Budenholzer, I know I said his name wrong, Budenholzer, I think his name is
Budenholzer.
Yeah, there you go. Some credit. He has the highest winning percentage among active coaches, and going off NBA history, a minimum of 300 games coached. He is 4th all time behind the Hall of Famers. So I want to give him some credit in this, and that's why I don't necessarily rule out the Bucks going to the Celtics, even though I will say you are right. You got some momentum on your side going to Boston, and I hope that it's a wake-up call for Giannis and the rest of the team that they got to wake up, that the Celtics aren't just going to lay down. I mean, they're going to fight you on this, and they're right now. So,
and you're right, they do got to wake up, because guess what? When they wake up, guess what? They're going to wake up and out of the playoffs, because the Boston Celtics will beat them. And listen, bro, after that, whoever comes out of the Philly and Heat series, come get this work, because that's going to be easy. That's basically just...
Listen, I'm not even worried. Truthfully, I'm not even worried about the Heat in 76. I'm not. I'm really not. I don't think either one of those teams can match up with the Celtics or the Milwaukee Bucks. I really don't. I'm not saying that they're going to be a cakewalk, but I just think the winner of the Milwaukee Celtics game is going to be in the finals. I really believe that. Gonzo.
Because if I say that, I'm a hater. Lols.
I've been saying that since day one. Matter of fact, truthfully, I've had Milwaukee and the Phoenix Suns in the playoffs or in the finals, and I'm still sticking with that. Not to say that the Celtics can't, get there, but I will say this. Whoever wins that series, I think it's going to be Milwaukee. But if it is the Celtics, that team's going to be in the finals, no doubt. Gonzo, what do you think about this Bucks and Celtics series, brother?
I think Celtics are going to win the series. Celtics have the advantage right now. They got two of these last 3 games are going to be at home. I think that's going to be a big thing. And the Celtics defense, they can stop Giannis when they have everybody available. So I think the Celtics are going to win, because I just don't see the Bucks winning 2 out of 3 and having to win 1 on the road.
But I think to do that, I think and Rayleigh, Pride, if you agree with me, great. If you disagree, let me know. But I think the key to beating the Milwaukee Bucks for the Celtics is let Giannis do whatever Giannis does. I mean, you're going to play him, you're going to guard him, but don't be so concerned with Giannis. Be concerned more with everybody else around Giannis. I think if you limit those guys and you let Giannis does what Giannis does, then that really is the recipe for success for the Celtics. Would you agree or disagree?
I agree with you to an extent, because, again, we've been locking up Giannis. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter what you do. But here's my thing. If you want to play with him, that's fine. Because, again, like, this is just me personally. This is just me. If I'm playing the team, I will let your superstar go get 50. I'll let him average 50 on my team. Swear to God, I will. I'll let you average 50. LeBron could average 50 on us. KD could average like 100 on us. I don't care. You want to know why? Because me personally, and this is just basically how, as playing basketball, this is how coaches really have I've been coached. The superstar is going to go get his, but single-handedly, he's not going to be able to score every single bucket.
Right.
He's gonna miss some wide open shots, because that's just how it goes. Nobody shoots 100% from the field consistently. Nobody does. Right? So it's your job to go lock up and defend the other guys, because whoever's that best player on your team, yes, he will get his buckets. But you got to make sure Drew Holiday can't get his buckets. You got to make sure Grayson Allen can't get his buckets. Bobby Portis can't get his buckets. Brook Lopez can't get his buckets. Pat Connaughton can't get his buckets. Because then now you're putting in a situation where now too much is on Giannis, And now, once you do that and everybody else is cold, and now you want to have a couple defensive possessions where you're focusing on Giannis and he needs to kick it out, the perfect thing is having Drew Holiday only have 3 shots before he makes one. Why? Because he's cold. He's cold and he hasn't had enough time to get his shot. So now going into the third quarter, he's taking 4 shots. And now when you really need him, it's not going in because he's not in a momentum. A lot of the Bucks players are momentum players. They're not guys who can just pick the rock up and go. They're momentum guys. So I agree with you.
Absolutely. So, all right, we're going to move on real quick to this last series, which is Golden State, Golden State and the Memphis Grizzlies. Morant clearly, he's got a bone bruise. I don't think he comes back for the foreseeable future. I don't think he comes back at least in this series. So the Memphis Grizzlies are pretty much going to be on their own to defeat the Golden State Warriors without Morant. Can we just go ahead and throw in the towel for Memphis and just say, hey, Golden State, cakewalk to Phoenix, Dallas, whoever gets it? What do you think? Pride.
Are you kidding me? Come on.
What happened, Chris?
Reg just gave up a damn run. Now we're getting.
Okay. I don't know why you're surprised. I don't know why you're surprised.
When Gonzo says that out loud, I'm just like, oh Lord, I
thought something crazy. I thought Joel Embiid like snaps his leg or something, and it's just a run.
He gave up a double up the gap. Oh, Hunter Green had a real solid start today.
Yeah, until he just gave up a run. But
they took him out, and the next guy gave up a run.
Imagine. But look, for me, I think you might have to wave it in. I think you might have to. With no John Morant, I don't know, man. Like I said, you could possibly do it with win a game without John Morant. That's possible. But for the entire series, good luck. That's it. Because I don't know about John. I'm not trusting in the playoffs. I'm not trusting a team to go an extended period of time without their superstar when you're playing a team like Golden State. When you're playing a team of this caliber, this deep in the playoffs, help is more important now than ever. Because now, guess what? If you lose the series, you go home. You go home. There's no plan B. There's no, oh yeah, if we lose, it's okay. We got the Timberwolves tomorrow. And if we lose that, hey, it's okay. We play the Pistons the day after. Like, that's not it. So right now, I would be extremely concerned. I don't care what team you're playing. If you're playing without your superstar, you're kind of going up. It's an uphill battle. Doesn't matter who you're playing. And now you couple that with the fact that you're now in the playoffs and he's out indefinitely. Like, you don't know when he's gonna come back. Like, bone bruises are tricky. They're tricky because you can come back in a week, a month, or longer. Like, bone bruises are a weird thing where, like, I don't know if you guys have ever had it, but I had one literally bother me for 4 months.
Right.
Because, like, those things are weird. You like, a bone bruise is one of those things you can do everything right, and your healing will still be slow.
Yeah, and everybody heals different.
Exactly. It's one of those weird things. So out indefinite, like I said, if you want to put your hopes and your chances in one game, okay, fine, whatever. But indefinitely, at this point, bro, just give it a Golden State because, and this is coming from a guy who I thought Memphis had a legit chance, and I had Memphis in 7. But, without John Morant, it's going to be a problem. So if he's out indefinitely, you got to give it a Golden State.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I feel bad for Memphis because they've worked really, really hard this year to get where they are. And I don't want to say that Memphis can't do something great, but it's going to take a hellified effort on their part. Let's be honest. They did manage to come within 3 points of winning against Golden State without Morant. So I don't want to say that they can't do it, but let's just be honest. I mean, I think at this point they just lack against a really, really experienced playoff / NBA championship team caliber. I mean, it's just a lot to ask of this team right now. But like I think Robert said, at the end of the day, We're taking them out to the woodshed. They're learning how to win, or at least play extremely hard to keep the games close without having their best player in Morant. So if they could do that without Morant, then next year this will just progress the team further when they do get Morant back, and that's going to make them even better. So they're getting experience, even though they may not advance. They're still getting valuable experience going up against the best. Would you guys agree?
Yeah. But they're getting valuable experience. But like you said, be honest, they're not winning this series without Morant. I don't think
they're not.
I don't think they won another game. The only chance that they had to win without Morant, they had to win that game last night. I think it was last night or night before, whenever they played. Last night, wasn't it?
Yep.
And if Memphis won that game, then I would have gave them a chance without Morant. But not now. Not when you have to win them 3 in a row, and one of them will be on the road. I just don't see them beating Golden State 3 times in a row without John Morant.
Right.
I agree. Again, you're getting, they made the second round. They beat the Timberwolves. Solid. Hats off to them.
Honestly, who would be where they're at this year?
I was about to say, they're a number 2 seed who nobody expected them to do anything. People still had them in the play-in tournament. So for them to go, you're getting some winning experience. Great. Now it's up to them to go out next year. And if they end up losing, they have to go out next year and prove that wasn't an anomaly. It wasn't a fluke. We're legit. They need to go out there and still be a top, and I'm not going to say top 2 or top 1, but a top 4 seed.
To be honest,
be out there top 4 seed.
Be honest, they honestly outplayed the Warriors for about 3/4 of that game last night.
Yep. Without
Morant, but then they fell apart.
Yep, they did, and that's really what it comes down to. Like I said, man, it's a shame. And I agree with you, Jay. I feel bad, But again, right. now it's up to them next year to show. Hold on, this wasn't an anomaly, because people don't forget. This year, the Phoenix Suns started 1-3, and there were questions on whether or not they peaked already. A lot of people thought that. Mm-hmm. Now they come in, and they handle their business, and now they look great. So hopefully the Memphis Grizzlies don't have something like that. They're able to go out, treat the game with respect, and hopefully prove that this year wasn't a fluke and an anomaly.
All right, guys, for the sake of time, there are 2 topics really that I want to cover before we get out of here. One, obviously, is, Jokic won his second straight MVP. I've kind of talked about the numbers on this. Robert Scott still firmly believes, and he has let me know that he firmly believes that that Embiid is, in fact, really the MVP here. That kind of like Joker really didn't earn or should not have won it. In my opinion, listen, Joker wins 2 out of the 3 categories against Embiid. He got him in assists and he got him in rebounds. He did lose it by 3 points in points scored per game. And of course, what Joel means to Philadelphia, and you obviously know what Joker means to the Nuggets. The difference for me, and this is just me, is I feel like when Harden is on, and when Max, of course, you got Max and you got Harris. There's a lot of weapons there, a lot of weapons that really helps out Philly. Not to say that they obviously don't need Embiid, because they do need Embiid. But Joker literally has had nobody. His 2 main stars have been injured and not playing in the series. So I don't know. I see Embiid says that he thinks he can play the guard position. I know Joker has actually played 1 through 5. I don't know, guys. For me, I think Joker legitimately earned this championship this year, and it should be Joker. That's just my opinion. Pride, I'm going to go with you, and Gonzo, I want you to wrap it up. Pride, who is your MVP, even though Joker won?
Jokic. There's literally no other answer. There's no other answer. It's Jokic. Because, again, Jokic single-handedly kept his team out of the play-in. Single-handedly. I don't care what anybody says. If it wasn't for Jokic, this is, forget a play-in team.
Right.
This is a team that's literally at the bottom, with no disrespect, but the Houston Rockets. Let's be fair. This is a G League team.
Right.
Let's be honest. Whoever's the second best player on Philly is way better than the second best player that Jokic had this year.
Right.
Without a shadow of a doubt. My guy, and I'm going to end it with this, because every time I say this, nobody has a rebuttal. here's the question I pose to all the people who are anti-Jokic and believe Jokic should have won MVP. You name me another guy who led his team in points, rebounds, blocks, steals, and assists. Name me another guy who led his team in all 5 categories and kept them out of the play.
Right. I agree. I agree. And if you want the factual numbers, I mean, Embiid was 30, 11, and 4. Joker was 27, 13, and 7. And Giannis was 29, 11, and 5. So, again, Joker carried 2 out of the 3 categories over the other 2. And let's be honest, you take out Embiid, Sixers go nowhere. You take out Joker, Nuggets go nowhere. You take out Giannis, Milwaukee goes nowhere. So that really is out of the equation. Now it becomes down to who led in the categories and who is the more versatile, skilled player. And I think between the 3, Joker inside and out is the more skilled guy. It's just my opinion, but that's the way I see it.
I don't know. In my opinion, Jokic is better than Embiid, easily, hands down, without a shadow of a doubt. But this isn't who's better; it's who's MVP. And like I said, it's Jokic. Again,
yeah.
If you just look at the PER, without, and this is real life. If you don't believe me, look it up. With Jokic off the floor, the PER that your beloved Nuggets had was on par with G League teams.
Right.
So you do.
Oh, absolutely. Gonzo, who's your MVP? Did they get it right?
I believe they got it right. I think Jokic was the MVP. He put up better numbers than he did last year when he won the MVP with less help on the team. I mean, and if like Pride said, if you take him off the floor, they were like a G League team out there. So to me, it was Jokic hands down. I was surprised he got it. I really did think they would give it to Embiid just because all the people on the TVs you see was really pushing Embiid.
Right.
But I felt Joker deserved it. And I'm glad they gave it to him because, like I said, he had a better year than he did last year. He's arguably the best player in the world.
Right.
So I don't know how you wouldn't give it to Jokic.
I definitely agree. All right, folks, we're going to move on to the last topic of tonight. We had several, but, man, we had so much good time talking about basketball that we didn't get to do everything else, but that's okay. Everything else has pretty much been talked about a million times over anyway. Mets released Robinson Cano. Cano has had a really, really, really good career in Major League Baseball. I believe he was with Seattle, if I'm not mistaken, for a good chunk of time as a second baseman. Obviously, his numbers have dipped considerably this year. And I'm just curious, obviously I want to say, do you guys think Robinson Cano lands with another team, or is he, almost done in his career? Pride, what do you think about Robinson? Does he land?
So I said the same thing about Nelson Cruz. Nationals picked him up. I said the same thing about Albert Pujols, and then the Nationals picked him up, and then the Cardinals brought him back. So I ain't gonna say nothing. I said the same thing way back in the day about Raul Ibanez, and the Yankees picked him up. So I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that his career is over, because every single time that we said it, guess what? They end up picking him up.
They end up going somewhere.
You know what? You know what helps him even more is the universal DH. Having that universal DH is going to help these guys.
Good question. Very good question. And let's be honest, Cano is 39 years old. Is that what? But like, again, I want to ask you guys, at 39 years old, his batting average has basically gone down to about 195. His on-base percentage is at 501 this season. Is he even swinging the bat good enough to be a DH?
I think he can. He was injured most of last season too. That's why
he did. Well, he sat out last season.
Yeah, suspended because of a doping violation.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I had that wrong. But yes, and he came back and he didn't get in a groove. I think if he can prove that he can still hit the ball, somebody will get him as a DH.
Prime, you're a baseball manager for one of these organizations. You see Cano is out there on the waiver wire, or not on the waiver wire, but just in the free agent pool. Do you bring him into your team to be your DH?
I give him an opportunity. Why not? Give him a chance. Because like you said, you can always say the excuses. Oh yeah, he's been hurt and whatnot, and you know what I mean. But look, the Dodgers took a chance on Albert Pujols. It worked out for him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Albert Pujols was still going to bat way worse.
I would at least bring him in and give him a look.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe you bring him in on a vet minimum contract, put him through spring training, see how he does in spring training, and then decide whether or not you're going to carry him.
That's what I would. Not even spring training. I would bring him in right now. That's what I would do. And then let's say, for instance, let's say the Red Sox were going to bring him in, right? On those days that you want to rest Xander Bogaerts, the days you want to rest Trevor Story, the days you want to rest JD Martinez, throw in Robinson Cano. That way,
let me ask you this, Pride, and Gonzo, if you have information on this, certainly please. I don't know how this part works. There's $45 million left on his contract when they released him. Who picks up the tab for that? Or does it just get washed away? I mean, for example, if I'm Boston, can I bring him in on the vet minimum, or do I got to pick up part of that $45 million tab?
The Mets will eat that $54 million because it was guaranteed. It's fully guaranteed. It's a fully guaranteed contract.
Mm-hmm.
So
right. Okay. So let's say if Boston picks up Cano on a vet minimum,
we don't pay that.
They don't got to pay that money. It's still going to be that paycheck still falls on the Mets.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay. Well then, damn. So there you go.
Just like that, the Mets are still paying Bobby Bonilla.
Jeez.
Still.
How long has he been out of the damn league?
What, 15, 16 years?
Damn near half of Pride's life.
And he gets like a million, like 1.5.
But yeah, I guess that would be half Pride. Pride ain't that old. Yeah.
Oh my God, you guys are clowns. I tell you.
What are you, like 22, 23?
I'm 24. I tell you.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was off by a freaking year. So he's
Pride,
less
I
than.
thought he was older than that because he goes, how old is Pride? He's in his 30s. I said, no. I said, he's only 2 years older than your grandson. He started laughing.
That's hey, listen. That is, I don't care how you look at it, Pride. That is damn funny. And Pride's not laughing. It's okay. Pride's over there pissed off. Poor Pride. He can't get no damn. I can tell Pride if he cuts off that damn chia pet hairstyle, he'll look about 100 years younger.
Yeah, Dad said
bro, I look horrible.
Yeah, Dad did. He said, how old's Pride? He's around 30 or so. And he was like, no, dude, he's only 2 years older than your grandson.
Nah, because I remember when I first told y'all my age, you guys were like, how old? It's like, yo, you're mad. I was like, nah, bro, I'm only 24. Rob was like, what? I was like, yeah, bro, I'm 24. He's like, swear to God, I'm 24. He didn't believe me.
Rob's like, you're a baby, but damn.
Yeah.
Dude, my son turned 22 last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, bro, I'm young, but I'm phenomenal at what I do. Call me AJ Styles.
No, you're good at what you do, man.
Call me AJ Styles. But yeah,
hey, listen, guys, I got a question right now. I want you guys' opinion. Listen, we got about 3 minutes left in this show. 66-49, 7:55 in the third.
I'm chilling.
How do you see this game playing out? Pride and then Gonzo. Pride, how do you see this playing out, brother? They're up by almost 20.
Philly by 7. Watch.
Okay. Gonzo?
I'm still with the Sixers. As long as they're in striking distance going into the fourth quarter, I think they win the game.
100%.
Because I'm telling you, that's amazing because Miami is damn sure got a pretty command. I mean, they're going to have to pull off the Celtics fourth quarter to win this game.
We're chilling.
Oh, come on, Blue. That was low.
All right. Hey, listen. The big games for tonight are pretty much New York versus Toronto. And you got Houston versus the Twins. And you got Angels versus Tampa Bay. So those are your pretty much big baseball games tonight, just for the implications alone of first and second place and so forth. So it's going to be interesting. I'm going to ask you a quick question. Houston Astros against the Twins. Who's got the winner? Pride.
I got Astros. You guys have been playing pretty solid the last couple weeks here.
Man, we have. I mean, honestly, we're on a 7-game win streak. Hopefully, they can continue to the 8th. They got to go against their arch nemesis, Carlos Correa. So I'm kind of curious.
Which is why I kind of hesitate to say that, because if we're talking about the Houston Astros, the Twins have been playing even better. The Twins all of a sudden are legit. Which is crazy because I don't know about anybody else. I didn't think that. I thought they were going to be solid, but they're looking great. They're looking legit. So I think it's a close game, but I got a 3-2 Astros.
Gonzo.
Man, be honest with you, this game was so close that the pick I actually gave out in my sports betting show today was the under 7.5 runs, because you got two good pitchers on the mound tonight.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be a low scoring game. So that was my favorite pick. But if I had to pick a team, I would go with the Twins tonight. They're 9-0 in their last 9 home games. The Astros have won 7 straight, so the Astros have been on a roll too. Should be a great ball game, but I really like the under the 7.5 runs.
And then, of course, we'll move into the next game, which would be New York Yankees versus Toronto. I feel like the Yankees are going to pull that game off. I feel like this is their night. How do you feel about that, Pride?
I got Toronto.
You got Toronto?
Yeah, I got Toronto.
I guess you would, because hey, damn, I'm just looking at the scores, and right now Toronto's up 3-0 on the Yankees, so they're looking pretty good, and they're going in the bottom of the 6th right now.
Yeah, so I mean, maybe it's just me, but I like. Well, I don't think it's just me, because I know a lot of people have liked the Toronto Blue Jays. So, but I don't know. I like them too much. It's going to be very difficult for me to bet against Toronto. I'm just going to leave it at that.
And just to give you further information, so Toronto, they're in the bottom of the 6th. The Yankees have a man on second with no outs. So we'll see if they can pull off some of that Yankee magic. The Astros are on top of the Twins, and they're actually top of the 5th right now, 2-0. So Astros are looking pretty good. Gonzo, can the Yankees come from behind, give it a man on second, top of the 6th, no outs, 3-0 down?
Can they? Yeah. I mean, it's going to be tough, but I actually picked the Yankees in this game. It was one of my picks I gave out today. Yankees were 19-7 over the last 26 games, and the Blue Jays have actually been in kind of a slump. They've lost 5 of their last 7. So I liked the Yankees coming in this game, but so far the Blue Jays have had a better pitching performance than what Severino could do. So the Yankees look like they're in some trouble.
And of course, the last game of tonight the last game I want to talk about is the Tampa Bay Rays against the Angels. The Angels are 20-11, and the Rays are 18-12. And the Rays are they're in second place, trying to vie for first place against the Yankees. If the Yankees do fall tonight, then obviously we give the Rays the opportunity to gain I believe the Yankees are 2 games, or a game and a half, something like that up on top. I mean, it's very, very close. So this would put the Rays even closer to first place if they can pull off the win tonight. Who do y'all have going to win tonight, Tampa or the Angels? I'm going to go personally. I'm going to go Tampa, just because I feel like they obviously have something to strive for, and I don't know if I 100% believe in the Angels quite yet, as much as I do Tampa. Pride, what are you looking at?
I got the Halos. I think right now they're playing great baseball.
They really are.
Especially right now. We're kind of been looking at them as in essence the Utah Jazz of the MLB, where you got the talent, but okay, at the bare minimum, at least the Jazz make the playoffs. But unfortunately, I think this year they got something. Do I think they're going to win it all? No. But I think they're going to have an extremely respectable year. So, but this one, I got a 6-2 in favor of the Halos.
And it's interesting because right now, if you've been watching this series if you've been watching this division between the Astros and the Angels, literally, we have been going. We're half a game apart right now. The Angels are half a game better than us, but they've been going win for win with us. So it's really been very, very close. Chris, how do you look at tonight, man?
So that's why you're taking the Rays tonight. Because
I'm praying that the Rays win tonight.
Compete with the Angels.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I'm praying. I mean, really, I think Tampa's got a great team. And I really am, obviously, for obvious reasons, I need them to win so the way the Astros can go a half a game up on the Angels. But in your perspective, Pride has the Angels. What are you looking at? Are you looking at the Angels as well?
Yeah, I had the Angels as well in this game. The Angels are a little bit better, have a little bit better team ERA pitching wise. Both these teams have been hot. Both of them are 4-1 over their last 5. But with the Angels being at home, I think their bats are going to be a little a little hotter than the Rays. So I went with the Angels in this game today.
Okay. All right, folks, we are there, man. Listen, we obviously didn't go to a lot of topics, but a lot of these topics we've already kind of talked about in other shows, and I know it's been talked about so much that really it's not even worth talking about anymore. In terms of boxing and UFC, we just kind of beat that dead horse. So I'm going to go straight to final thoughts. Gonzo, final thoughts, brother.
Dude, these Reds are going to give me a heart attack. Got my blood pressure high over here. They started playing a little better the last 3 or 4 games, got me excited, but they're struggling tonight, down 3-1 in the 7th. And then this playoff basketball's been good. I'm ready for the game tonight. There's a lot of stuff's been going on sports-wise. Like you mentioned, the UFC over the weekend. Saw one of the worst fights ever between Namajunas and Esparza. There might have been 20 strikes thrown the whole damn 5 rounds.
Was horrible.
It was terrible.
It was horrible.
But other than that, it was a pretty good pay-per-view. But that was a rough 25 minutes.
Oh my God. And then you had Rose Namajunas with her hands up screaming, "I'm the best," and I'm like, could have fooled me.
Brian, what are your final thoughts, brother? On anything in sports, whatever.
First things first, thank you for having me here. I always love being able to spend some time with you, Jay.
I love you too.
Gonzo. You too, Gonzo. It's always great. We're vibing. We're chilling. Celtics in 6, as always. Boston Red Sox, get it together because you guys are giving me an aneurysm. The Patriots, Bill Belichick, you're scaring me with that strange pick, okay? You're scaring me. I'm believing in you. I got faith. Don't let me down. William Stephen Belichick. Do not let me down. Well, it's pronounced Steven, but I say Stephen. So William Stephen Belichick, do not let me down. Michael McCorkle-Jones is going to be the best quarterback. He's going to win MVP. Tua Tagovailoa is going to have a year unlike anybody else. Who else can I hype up? Who's trash that I haven't hyped up in a while? Grant Williams. What a guy. What a guy. The second best number 12 ever in the history of sports. Right behind Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr.
I got a question in my final thoughts, and it's really kind of directed at Pride because it's his team that I'm directing it at. Robert Williams, center, does he come back?
Do you want to know the guy on the truth? I wouldn't have him come back. I would not rush him back. Because the thing is,
you're going to have him just chill.
I would have him chill. I would have him relax. Because it's just me, but I'm not in the business of rushing you to come back. Because if I rush you to come back, you're going to end up getting hurt even worse, which instead of costing us a series, is going to cost us a lot more talking about next season. So, I would rather sit him out, handle the business against the Bucks, than bring them back in the Eastern Conference.
And you're vibing already. With the team you have, you're already vibing. So I don't know that you need to rush him back.
Exactly. So with all that stuff, I'm chilling. We're relaxing. So, I'd rather be safe with him, especially a young guy who's going to be a focal piece in our team. I'm playing it safe with him. I'm having the same approach that I have with Marcus Smart. I'm gonna let you go through the warm-ups. The instant you say "ow," you're sitting down. Period. I don't care what anybody says. So,
hey, so this is my final thoughts, and it's just a couple. Number one, this show we've really kind of hit some sensitive subjects early on before we got into the actual show. With the comments about Draymond Green by the Weathermen, and also Chris Paul's, issues with his family and fans.
If anybody listens to a weatherman, they have problems anyway.
Exactly, and I get it. Trust me. Listen, I'm right there with you. But we've kind of talked about some sensitive things, but we've also had a really good discussion. And let me tell you something about sensitive things. They're sensitive, but look, if we don't talk about them, then it's like it never happened. And I'm sorry. One thing about Unscripted is we talk about things, because if it don't happen or people don't talk about it, how do we ever expect change to occur?
Exactly.
And this show is all about creating change amongst people. And we'll talk about everything you want to talk about, because if we don't talk about it, then it's like it never happened. And that's almost a travesty in and of itself. That's one thing about Unscripted I want to put out there. But secondly, hey, listen, one thing I've learned about today is this. 2 things. Number one, the Reds, as much as they're tanking, can still win games. God's like, son of a bitch. But secondly, how about Al freaking Horford?
Made me spit out my
No. Al Goatford.
Yeah, okay, yeah, because that's exactly what, you know what? That's exactly what Frankie said. He said, go bring on the Goatford. So, yeah, I get that, man. I get it. Hey, there he goes right here. Look, I'll bring it up. Al Goatford. So yes, Frankie brings up an unscripted Al Goatford. Hey, listen, man. It's a good NBA series. Right now, Miami is up 73-23, 20 points, 2:31 left to go. Anybody's game, maybe, or maybe it's Miami. I don't know. It's going to take a Celtics fourth quarter to really bring this team back to beat Miami.
What was the score? Because you said 73-23, which I don't think that's realistic.
No, that's 73-23, 2:31. I just looked at it right before they went to commercial break.
No, not 23.
Or 53. I'm sorry.
There it is. Okay, there it is.
Listen, damn it. I said they were up by 20. Just do the math.
I can't do math.
Hey, apparently neither can I. It's okay. It's not a requirement of this show, apparently.
Good.
No, guys. Hey, listen, man. You know, we got a lot of really good basketball to go through.
Good
baseball to go through. Go ahead, Gonzo.
Let me say one thing real quick.
Yeah, brother. Go ahead.
If you haven't liked and followed the unscripted Facebook, you need to go do it. Our boys Jay McLovin, Logan Landers, and Frankie C have a great show going on over here. Come support them.
Hey, I appreciate that. I really, really appreciate that. And let me say this, man. It's a real pleasure. Well, at this point in time, I think Gonzo already knows he's part of the family. He's there Tuesdays and Thursdays. He's not here Saturdays because obviously he does his wrestling, his independent wrestling on Saturdays. But he's here Tuesdays and Thursdays. And Gonzo's part of the family. Gonzo Sports Room. Go check out his webpage as well. He's got a lot of good stuff on there. Prideful takes. Listen, if you want to know about sports and you're not afraid to get your feelings hurt, go listen to Pride.
Hey, even if you don't like sports, go listen to Pride. You will be entertained.
You got to listen to Pride. The guy knows his stuff, right?
You'll be entertained.
Listen, man. I'm gonna tell you what I tell everyone, man. I don't care if I'm right. I don't care if I'm wrong. As long as I'm entertaining somebody, that's all I care. That's all I care about.
No. Let me be honest with you, Pride. You've had me cry internally on this show several times, but it's okay. It's okay because I can take the smoke.
I'm glad, and that's why I pick on you so much because I know you can take it. I know you can handle it. Right?
No, hey, Pride. You know you always have an open invite on my show, or I should say our show. Anytime you want, man. Because I always appreciate you and Stat Guy, who was on our show as well. Stat Guy. Between Stat Guy, Gonzo, and Pride, there is a lot of knowledge there and a lot of intellect. And I like to think that I'm just a guy who gets to sit back and enjoy the intellect that these guys share because it really does make for a hell of a good show. So, without kissing anybody's ass any more than what I've already done, Pride, Prideful Takes, Gonzo Sports Room, catch us Unscripted Tuesdays, Thursdays, 7 Eastern, and Saturdays, 8 Eastern. Prideful Takes. What time does that come on and when, Pride?
Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 6 p.m. Eastern.
Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 6 Eastern for Prideful Takes. Gonzo Sports Room. I don't remember your days and times either. Can you go let the public know when they can find you?
Gonzo Sports Room is Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 p.m. Eastern. And then we also have Easy Money, a sports betting show that's at 3 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. And that shows not only on the Gonzo Sports Room channels, it's also on the ASAP Sports YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch as well. So if you're not doing, if you like sports betting, come check us out 3 p.m. Eastern.
Again, lots of good shows between Prideful Taste, Gonzo Sports Room, Unscripted, Sports Senseis, Bring It On, Bring It. Several ASAP in the morning, ASAP in the afternoon with Gonzo. Lots and lots of good content throughout the week has always been put on the All Sports, All Plays Network. I challenge you to look at it on Facebook. They have a Facebook page. You can also go to All Sports, All Plays.
A lot of good personalities over there on the ASAP.
Oh, good God, we got lots of personalities. AllSportsAllPlays.com or All Sports, All Plays on Facebook. Those are two places you can go to find all of our stuff. Prideful Taste, Gonzo Sports Room. You got the times. Again, thank you guys for joining me on Unscripted, and we will catch you Thursday where we will have Rob Scott join me and Gonzo and Logan And Pride, if you want to come and join your boy Scott, you're welcome as well, my brother. And I'll send you the link. And if you want to come on as Sourcey, you can. Until next time.
I actually might, because I'm be in Connecticut. So, you know what I mean? It's going to be the first time Bob can say, yo, F Connecticut, and I'll be in there. So it's going to be the first time Bob can, it's going to tell me, it's going to be, you don't want to miss, because listen, me and Rob, we got a hatred of each other, right? Because he's from Chicago and I hate Chicago, right? So now, since he knows I'm from Connecticut, he hates Connecticut now. So it's going to be the first time. It's gonna be
he loves sporting that Golden State's jersey today. Listen.
Oh, my goodness.
So if you want to see a hell of a good show, catch Thursday at 7 p.m. where we will have Pride, Gonzo, Logan, Jay McLovin, and our boy Rob Scott all about to go down. And you don't want to miss it, especially after these NBA games between now and then. Oh, have mercy. Sweet Jesus. Until Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern, it's your boy Jay with my boys, Pride and Gonzo. We will see you then, my friends.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we're making a place. You're talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace up the field, so tie the laces.